What's going on, good people? Rich here.
It's your girl Ray P. What's going on, everybody? It's not just Kyron and I today. We are joined by a very special guest. You may have seen him last week talking shit. You may, you, you may have seen him on many an episode. You may follow him on his own podcast, Another Week in the Books or Good Earners. We are joined by the incomparable, amazing, fascinating, intriguing, ever funny, and intellectual Maurice Hunt III. What's going on?
Ah man, y'all don't nobody do intros like y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's what
go,
I'm talking about.
y'all go introers, man. Like, hey man, but today though, I'm Mo Law.
Oh, Mo Laurie.
I said
My
I'm
bad,
Mo
Mo
y'all.
Lowry.
Lowry.
My bad,
You're
y'all.
not.
Mo Laurie is on the
Mo
line.
Lowry. But thank y'all
If
for
you're,
having me again. Thank you, listeners, for embracing me. For those that have embraced me, thank you.
yeah, they ain't sick of you yet, man. So you still in good standing.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm surprised if they wasn't sick after you after that. Your comments on
Hey,
last
Jamie
week's
Foxx.
episode about Jamie Foxx, and I don't think they ever will be sick of you. If
Okay.
you're not watching on YouTube, shout out to my dog Mo Lowry, man. There's not too
Yeah.
many times where I just feel out cooled. It's not too
Oh,
many times I feel out cool. This nigga got the shades on. He got the whole Miami looking going. I mean, I know he's in Florida, but he really on this Bad Boys. He really on his Bad Boys, man. Shout out to my dog Mo.
thank you, man.
Shout out to So Far Pod,
Yes.
another podcast from Mo, an objective look at Drake and his music.
Thank you.
They had a very objective episode today, kind of taking Drake through the ringer. I was enjoying it. Shout out to Mo's sister who recently got engaged.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
man. So shout out to them. Shout out to them, man. And obviously Roll audio series. Mo's been teasing season 4. He put up some pieces of the script on Instagram. If you follow him, definitely looking forward to that story continuing. Shout out to you and all the things that you do, my brother. Before we get into today's episode, there's a couple housekeeping things I want to go into. First and foremost, welcome. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. That's always the most important. Took your time out the day, press play, downloaded the episode. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We cannot do any of this without you, so thank you. But before we get into our regular pleasantries and updates, the church announcements. Mo, when we did our brothers episode, Rachel and myself did the casting, and we asked people to send their casting choices in. The next week we did the Equalizer. I know you sent me something, and I could not find where it was. I checked my DMs, I checked my text messages. Since you're here, can you go ahead and Rachel, you stupid. Can you go ahead and give us your casting for the brothers?
Oh man. So I think I only did 2 substitutions because I think Morris is a lock still. And
Shamar lock?
I think Shamar was a lock. Or was it Bill Bell? Yeah, I think Shamar was a lock. The one that comes to mind right off, I said instead of DL Hughes, I would have did Eddie Griffin. Yeah, look at she like who? Like look.
I know who Eddie Griffin is.
Well, she's like, but I think Eddie Griffin, I think he could have played the married man. You know what I'm saying? I think he could have played that well and still had that, like, you know what I mean, that kind of cool factor that I feel like Eddie Griffin, gives off. And I don't remember who I had replacing Bill Bellamy. I'm mad that I don't remember, but I think it was a text message. I might, if I could remember, I'm gonna go through our chain and I'm gonna check it out. So if I randomly say who replaced Bill Bellamy, because it was another comedian, I know that, but if I just say randomly in the episode, just forgive me, y'all.
That's cool. That's all good. It's all good. We just wanted you to have your input, get your shine. I was thinking about the episode we did, you and Rachel, when you kind of interviewed us, and I was talking about we were talking about movies that impacted us, and I mentioned Pulp Fiction, and I meant to show. I don't have it with me right now, but my love for Pulp Fiction is so deep. I have the Pulp Fiction, the Jules Winfield, Bad Motherfucker wallet. You know what I mean? I carry that around with me daily. And Jules Winfield is my favorite movie character. So I meant to add that in when we discussed it. So like when we talk about movies impacting us, Rachel and myself, like we really take it seriously. Like we really hold these movies near and dear to our heart. Also, a couple of things. Talk to some of the Culture Garden family out there. Rachel, I didn't tell you this yet, but about last week or the week before, the Culture Garden received a DM from our
Oh,
girl, our home girl, Christina.
oh, hey, Christina. Christina.
Yeah. Shout out to Christina, man. I'm laughing because Christina, I swear we love you. I promise
For
we don't be
sure.
trying to be funny, but I feel like we always like crash on her movies. And
Oh,
she sent a voice note. She's hilarious, but she sent a voice note, a couple of them, and she was like, I got the kids with me, and I'm dropping them off. I'm making my morning commute, put on a podcast, and all of a sudden, I hear y'all dog gets the last black man in San Francisco. She's like, y'all already got Crooklyn, and now you're getting last black man in San Francisco, and we had a good laugh about it back and forth. Christina's from the Bay, and obviously, and I told her, I said, look, if they made a movie about Cincinnati, same way Rachel, I'm sure if they made a movie about Toledo, you're going to be a little bit more partial to it because you understand some of the elements about it. But she made some very, very compelling points about the film. Obviously, her being there and just the family dynamic, kind of being fed a lie your entire life, the whole nine. And we had a good discourse about there were some good moments in the film.
yeah.
As a whole, it seemed like we missed something. And I think we discussed it, Rachel, like we know there's got to be something there, but we just missed it because it's too highly reviewed and highly rated. I told Christine, I said, when we revisit it, you have to come on the episode. We have to have a conversation or discussion about it. Those are some of my favorite messages to get. Shout out to Christina. Shout out to
Christina.
She's doing it in her career. Recently got promoted.
Hey,
Family is good. Shout out to the fam, man. Beautiful family. So shout out to her, man. Recently had a birthday. Shout out to her. But I appreciate that message, and I had to pass it along to you, Ray P.
No, for sure. Thank you. That's crazy. I think you mentioned being from the Bay before, but that's one of the craziest movies I've ever seen in my life. And I can't wait to talk about it because it was fucking weird.
It's got some great elements, and it's got some things that are very strange. That's for sure. That's for sure, man. But shout out to Christina just for that feedback and potentially getting a person to join us on one of these episodes to discuss something near and dear to her. I would love to do that. It will not be in 2024. I've seen that once enough for this year, but we will revisit it at some point. As I continue to dump on the movie, man. Nah, I'm just playing. Shout out to everybody involved. Also, another message. This was sent June 1st after our episode with Mo, the interview. And I want to read this. It's a little bit more personal, but I think it's important to read because it kind of shows how much you mean to us. And it just warms my heart with kind of the detail that a lot of you pay attention to us. So I want to read this from Bryce Tober. Shout out to Bryce. We've mentioned him before. He's written in before, commented before. But on June 1st, sent a message, said, hey, you guys, hope everything is well with everyone, including friends and family. I've been locked in with the episode. They've all been great. I'm currently, as I'm typing this, listening to the latest episode with Maurice, and I have to say, Rich, from man to man, brother to brother, the answer you gave in response to school's whereabouts was amazing. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has been wondering where he's been, and he is a major part of the Culture Garden family. His presence is missed, but you answered that in a way that, and I'm trying to make sure I word this properly, a brother that loves his brother should have handled that. I'm almost speechless to say the least, but it was very heartfelt to me and very much appreciated. I pray that everything goes in school's favor, no matter what the situation is. I love the chemistry between you and Ray P. Always have, always will. I just wanted to take the time to give you your flowers, brother. Now back to the episode. I'm loving the content.
And thank you.
Yeah, man. And I probably should have asked Bryce if it was cool to read that. But I wasn't at first. Those who know me know I keep personal things personal. However, the more I thought about it, first and foremost, thank you, Bryce. I told you this already in my response, but I was blown away that you took the time not to mention a movie, but kind of more of a personal aspect of this whole thing in this episode. And I know every week we get on here, we tell you how much everyone means to us, and we do this for y'all, and y'all are a big piece of this whole thing. But the fact that you took the time out of your day to really, like, man to man, brother to brother, as you said, kind of acknowledge that moment, because it was one of those where I didn't know if I was going to speak about it. I didn't know how that was going to go. Kind of came out very organically based off of Mo's question. And I was happy that we had the space to address it. Also, shout out to school. His birthday was this past Sunday.
My man.
But yeah, just the fact that it's deeper than the movies. It's deeper than the television episodes.
Sure.
It's deeper than the bullshit and the laughing around and the jokes. This is really a community that we built that I'm proud of and I'm grateful to be a part of. And it goes beyond school, myself, and Ray P. And everybody else involved. It goes beyond the people who have been guests. It really goes down. You are all the foundation. You're the flower bed of this whole garden that we build. And we appreciate that. I just wanted to acknowledge that because that really touched me on a human level, not an entertainment level. So the fact that people out there are paying attention like that, I at least wanted to acknowledge it. So shout out to you, Bryce. That really meant a lot.
I love y'all fan base, man.
Me too.
Seriously, because I just when I listened to that episode back, I was like, man, I love because y'all are in a, I know we're gonna get to the movie, but y'all are just in a space where it's very flooded. This is a very flooded space of movie and television review. But your fan base has this personal connection with y'all that surpasses all of these people are doing. I can go over here. I can go over here. I can go. Nah, these are loyal fans and they really got genuine love for y'all. And I love how they love that. And they all got similar responses. Y'all make us feel like we're right in the room with y'all. And I love that. Like, because to be able to crack in this space the way y'all are is amazing. So shout out to your fan base, man.
Yeah, no, definitely shout out to them. And I think no shade to the people that we know, but I think it's just a little bit different when it's people who have found their way into the garden. And it's just like, oh, y'all really fuck with us because you have no vested interest beyond just genuinely liking the content that you're receiving. And just we really, really, really appreciate y'all. So thank you.
Absolutely. Shout out to that. That's why I shout out niggas randomly on the show. Yeah, you got to shout niggas out to make sure they listen because they don't say nothing. You know, they niggas ain't listen. Them niggas gonna run up on you like, "Hey man, I love the episode, nigga. You ain't listening to that shit." But nah, man. All joking aside, I know, right? Which one? What part?
Which one of my so-called niggas?
Which one of my so-called niggas? Timestamp that joint. But nah, we really do appreciate y'all.
Press play one time.
Right. Well, y'all really mean a lot, man. This is a beautiful community, man. But as we get into the movie, we've already thanked y'all for joining us. We talked about Mo and everything he's a part of. I'm going to make sure those links are in the episode description. You can go follow him and check out all the wonderful work that he's doing. In the business of giving flowers, shout out to We Got Y'all. Shout out to Rachel, television podcast. Let me just stop real quick. Let me stop real quick because I was thinking about this earlier and I wanted to publicly say this. Like, Rachel, I'm so proud of you on a real level because everybody out there doesn't know. But Rachel never hit my line or on some, hey, man, I would love to talk about movies as well. Like, everything that's happened with Rachel becoming a podcaster is all organic.
Yeah.
We've never really had a conversation, but I think I'd be safe to say that I don't think you ever gave serious thought to picking up a microphone and starting a podcast. Maybe the idea ran across your brain once or twice, but I don't know if it was something you would have been actively working on. So for Rachel to kind of walk into this space and kind of find herself and find her voice and find her rhythm, and everybody loves Rachel when it comes to this. I say all that to say the expansion of We Got Y'all and the things that are going on over there. I don't know how often Rachel's recorded more than once at a time, maybe or 2 or 3 episodes in a week or so. Like, that's normally myself. Mo does it, Spike does it, but Rachel's pretty much one and done. Maybe we Got Y'all and it's 2 or 3, but those are very limited times for her. So for her to step into this space of We Got Y'all, where there's a lot of television content coming out, we're already doing The Shy. We're going to be starting House of the Dragon next week. There's other shows that are on right now that we're going to be discussing. There's probably other shows that are going to flow into it where we might be having 3 series going on at once. I'm just proud of you, Rachel, and everything that you're doing and just kind of taking this all head on. I know it's a lot, but you are definitely handling it gracefully. And I'm excited to see the growth and expansion of We Got Y'all and everything that's going on there. So wanted to just let you know because, myself, Mo, Spike, our dog, man, we kind of we've been doing. We're in a rhythm. Like we kind of podcast. We record a lot, 4 or 5 times a week sometimes. So for someone who doesn't do that and make room in her calendar to kind of chase a dream, chase a passion. I don't want dream might be extreme, but to chase a passion is something that she's good at. I just think that's dope, and I know it's a lot of hard work, and I want to acknowledge you, Rachel, because you out here grinding on top of all the other things that you do. Once again, in another hotel. But shout out to you.
And I will say this, I am a fellow podcaster as you both as well, but as a producer and a director, with your voice and personality, you was meant to be in this space. No matter how far away, however far you wanted to go, by any means. But me being an observer, you was meant to be in this space. Like from the moment I heard you, like I was like, oh my God, like that's why I have a character for your voice. Like I'm like, oh, that's the voice. It was 2 women I had in mind, you and this other woman from another random podcast I don't know. But like when I heard that voice and that personality, I said, oh, so yeah, you was meant to be in this space for whatever, however far you wanted to go, up to you. But you definitely was meant to be in this space. So I echo those same sentiments.
Do y'all want me to start crying?
Oh wow!
Yeah, cry, nigga, cry,
cry, nigga.
Do it. Do
it. You got heart. You got heart.
Nigga said you got heart. Shout out to Baby Boy, man. Hold on, time out. Shout out. I swear we're gonna get an episode. Right. Shout out to Baby Boy. It's on Netflix now. I made a post on the Culture Guard page about how I love Baby Boy ridiculously. Like, oh, Jody, what are these? A pack of condoms. What you doing with those? Like that movie's so ridiculous. I love that film. I love that film. But Mo just quoted it, which is why I said it. As I said before, like, subscribe, share. Linktree's in the episode description. Maurice's podcasts are in the episode description. Please comment. Let us know everything you love about the show, things you'd like to see different. We're open to all ideas. Before we get into the episode, there will be spoilers. Came out in 95, so take that as you may. There is also explicit content, and we are going to be discussing the original, the OG 1995 smash hit Bad Boys, starring Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. The synopsis of the film: 2 Miami detectives protect a witness to a murder while investigating a case of stolen heroin from the evidence storage room from their police precinct. Maurice, when we started this podcast, or excuse me, not when we started this podcast, when I first met you, okay, one of the few times we kind of hit it off, I asked you, hey, what movies would you want to do? If you were on the Culture Guard, what movie would you want to do? Pretty common for the guests. We kind of ask them what they want to discuss. The first movie you mentioned was Bad Boys, right? Obviously, the new one just came out, so we saved this movie until the 4th one was released. Why did you pick Bad Boys? What was it about Bad Boys that made you say, this is the movie that I want to discuss if I'm ever on the Culture Guard?
It's a movie that has everything, man. It just has everything. Honestly, it has the action. It has the comedy. It has, some elements of sexy, some elements of suspense, got some detective work, mystery a little bit. It's just got a little bit of everything in it. It's a solid movie. It's a great ride the entire time. I don't think it's talked about enough when we talk Black classic movies. I don't think it's talked about enough, to be honest. I think we overlook it and go straight to 2 because of the quotables. But I'm like, wait a minute. Like I will debate anybody out the room quickly when you want to talk about 1 versus 2. I mean, and shouts out to the 3 and 4, but I mean, they ain't even in this, that's not their bracket. Different tiers. But this is just such a solid movie throughout. It's not without critique. No movie is, but overall, it's super solid and it's super enjoyable. And these are 2 brothers that we love, that gave us sitcoms that we have conversations about and debate about, and they flipped it on its head and kind of put a serious, so to speak, movie out. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Mo, that's so interesting that you say that, because I've been on record saying that 2 is my favorite. However, every time I watch 1, I guess I'm surprised at how enjoyable it is, because in my mind 2 is just that one. But every time I revisit the original, I'm like, no, this shit good. It's solid.
So let me give my 2 cents on that, Rachel. I think I know why you and a lot of other people in our age range say 2 is the one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for us, that was us outside. We weren't outside for the first
High
one.
school.
I know we'll talk about first experience, but we
Mhm.
weren't outside in 95. We were still in elementary school. I'm sure we didn't see it in the theaters. I know I didn't. But it wasn't that type of, we knew the impact that it had because of what Mo just said. Fresh
Yeah.
Prince Martin. We were watching it.
Yeah.
We were watching it. But we weren't watching Bad Boys. That was a little too much. You know, you might sneak to that cousin's or uncle's house and you see it on VHS, and that's how you get introduced.
Facts.
You know, but for the most part, we weren't necessarily being introduced or pushed to go see it.
Mhm.
8 years later, I remember the Super Bowl of 2003, and I remember the ad, the Super Bowl spot, back when Super Bowl commercials actually were like a big deal. They had the ad and trailer, a mini trailer for Bad Boys 2. It was the scene when they're in the Zopound house and they doing like the spinning camera, and they kind of stretched out with the guns and all that. Like, and it wasn't a full trailer; it was just a mini trailer. And we saw Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett for the first time in 8 years, and we was geeked. I remember going to school the next day, like, yo, I can't wait till this joint drop. So fast forward to 2003, we outside. I'm driving.
Yeah.
If I'm not driving, I know people that are.
Yeah.
I'm asking women, like, you want to come? You want to go see Bad Boys? I said, man, it was date night every week when Bad Boys 2 dropped. You hear me? I moved in the theater like 5-6 times. I'm not playing, man. I saw that movie 5 or 6 times in the theaters. It's one of my most memorable. If I had to rank my movie experiences, it's top 3 movie experience I've ever had. Like back when it was packed, pre-social media, it was the place to be. Back when if you wasn't there, you wasn't there. You can't record none of this. It's not you had to be in the building. So it was one of those moments for me, and it was just incredible. But to everybody's point, that's why I think 2 holds a certain place with our hearts, because like we've grown. This is our version of Bad Boys that we can see on our own, but the OG is it. That's it. It's the one. We don't get anything else if it wasn't for that. And since we're already having a conversation about them, did anybody see the latest Bad Boys?
I have not had the chance. That is definitely, I mean, everybody that we're getting on FaceTime with, or she is, or I am, everybody's seen it. So it's like one of those moments where it's like, damn, you know, oh, so every nigga went out to see Barbie now, huh? All you niggas want to go see Barbie. Now I got to go see Barbie, you know, so so we ain't seen it yet, but I definitely, I'm okay with spoilers.
I mean, no, we're not going to talk about it. I'm just curious, just in the sake of talking about it here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it either. It was on my to-do list to do this past weekend, but as I said on We Got Y'all the other day, very little got done. So, nope.
Yeah.
This weekend, we're going to make it happen.
I can second that.
I went to go see it Friday night. Extremely entertaining movie. I loved it. It. To your point, Mo, are there critiques? Of course. It's not a. You notice I didn't necessarily say it was a good movie. It's an entertaining movie. And when I say good, it's enjoyable. But if you're one of those people that are going to point out every plot hole and every like nitpick, then yeah, there's going to be some.
How much does the theater play a part in that?
The theater played a major part in it. It's 100%. If you have a chance to go to the theater while people are still going, go with other people. Go in the theater atmosphere so you can laugh at the same parts, cheer at the same parts, clap at the same parts. Because there is a moment, a definite moment. People who are listening who've seen the movie know exactly what scene I'm talking about, where you are going to clap at the end of that scene.
Okay.
Like it's some like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like a moment. But it is what they did. And here's why franchises exist. This is why you can make 10 Fast and the Furious movies. Right? This is why everybody keeps rewatching The Sopranos. Right? What you do, the good ones, you're invested in these characters. Right? It doesn't matter what the script is. I don't care what you're talking about. It could be Bad Boys in space. Like I care about Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett. So I'm trying to check in with the homies. Yeah, homeboys in outer space. You feel me? Trying to check in on the homies. I'm trying to make sure everybody good. I haven't seen y'all in a minute. That's why everybody went to see Bad Boys 2. I ain't seen my niggas in 8 years. What y'all been up to? 2020 come out. Everybody packed in the theater to see that again because we're invested in these characters now, and that all started with this movie. And that's what the great franchises do. That's why you can keep people coming to the box office, going to the theaters that already reach 100 million because we care about those characters like they were real people. And just kudos and shout out to them for carrying that brand because it can very easily be cheesy. When I tell you you'll enjoy your movie experience, like they add all the elements that make Bad Boys, you are going to leave and say, oh shit, I enjoyed that. It is very entertaining.
Okay.
Very entertaining. And like I said, that all started with the OG.
Hmm.
Let's get into some stats.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your feedback. And everybody out there, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about.
Let me ask
you
you
both will too once you see it.
Just quickly. Do y'all think it? I mean, obviously, numbers says otherwise, but like us in the culture, do you think it really affects how we look at it in totality when you look at those big gaps of the next versions of Bad Boys coming out? Does it affect it at all? Do y'all think, or it doesn't matter?
Because it's three. Because they actually did. Everybody, I've been on record saying how much I dislike those 15-year break sequels.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel always points out the Best Man Holiday being so good.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think what it is you can't go if you're gonna take a break, take a break. Like literally give us time, give these characters time to have something to talk about. Yeah. So when you go from 2003 to 2020 and there's 17 years, I would love to see what an older version of Mike and Marcus look like. I don't expect them to be doing the same thing they did in 1 and 2. Let's see what this new version of it. They're still the same people, just doing newer 50-year-old man shit.
Yeah.
Right? Still kind of, 37 showing up as a 7-year-old. Shout out to you, Mo. Mike Lowry ain't growing up. Like all this shit. Now like, things are finally happening and churning. And it's cool to see. I definitely separate 3 and 4 than I do 1 and 2.
Gotcha.
For sure. And I'll tell you this. 4, I'll say this, and this might be a bold prediction. I hope I'm not saying too much. 4, when it's in a year or two, there's going to be conversations about 4 and 2.
What do you mean?
Okay.
I'm just telling you. From an entertainment standpoint, it's
entertainment.
Very entertaining movie.
Michael Bay still?
When you ask people, no, it's not Michael Bay. He makes a cameo in the movie the same way he made a cameo in 3. He's not directing. He directed 1 and 2.
Okay.
But I think from an entertainment standpoint, the same way we looked at 3 compared to 1, this new generation, these younger kids and getting introduced, that's how they're going to look at 4.
Okay.
I'm just saying the conversation. I'm not going to say we agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying the conversation is going to start being that way. We're always going to say 2. 4 is not going to be 2 for us. But there will be a conversation. There will be some talk about it.
Got it. Everybody that I know that has seen 4 has said that it is landmines better than 3.
3.
Yes, yeah. I've heard that.
So I'm going in with that. And so I guess to go back to Mo's question, I think that when there are large gaps, it just has to be done right, like Best Man Holiday. But I think with 4 coming out so closely to 3, that they've taken that feedback and made adjustments. And Rich, you being the only one that's seen it, maybe you can speak to that or confirm if I'm right in my thought process with that. I'm just excited. I hate a long ass gap because I don't necessarily want to just miss all of that time. So much life happens in such a limited amount of time. So when you take 15, 20-year gap, like, yes, I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to support it for the culture. And just because I do want to see what my niggas are up to, howsoever, I would appreciate like a incremental breakdown. What's going on? Come holler at me in 5 years versus 15, Yeah. So, but I'm excited. I'm going to see it Friday.
Understood. To your point, before I get into the stats, I would say that they, now in the age of social media, remember 1 and 2 weren't in the social media age. They released 3. To your point, Rachel, it's like they hired someone to read every negative comment.
Yeah.
And then read every positive comment. Take every negative thing, throw it out, and take all the positive and make it into a movie. They gave you everything you want from a Bad Boys movie. It's an action movie. You're getting action. Okay. You're getting Marcus. You get Mike. You know what I'm saying? Martin the Will. You're getting everything you want. It's a feel good. I don't have to think. Turn my brain off. It's been a long ass week. Let me get this popcorn. Let me recline in this chair.
I'm good with that.
And we good. And you were going to be entertained. You're not going to be sitting there. You're not going to lose sleep because of how good it is. But you're going to walk out that theater like, damn. The fact that they still are able to do this. The fact that they still able to do this is very impressive.
I feel good about my dollar spent.
Exactly.
I feel good about spending that dollar.
We're gonna have a good time.
I'm going to see it again. I'm a sicko. I'm a sicko.
No, that line. No,
Don't
you're not
compare me.
sick. That lines up. You're rich though. Like that's a rich
Yeah,
thing.
I told y'all. I saw Bad Boys 2 5-6 times.
That's what I said. No, that's a rich thing. That ain't
Yeah,
you ain't sick.
so,
That's a rich thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So just want to let y'all know. But all right, let's get into some stats. Impressive stats. Got a lot of stuff about this movie. We're not going to hold y'all too long. We'll get into the scenes and stuff, but I do have some information that I found very interesting, some ties, just to kind of put you back in 1995 and where we were as a people. So this movie was released in theaters April 7th, 1995. It just turned 29 years old a couple months ago. April 6th, 95, the day prior to the release of Bad Boys. Season 3, episode 22 of Martin. Cream. The famous Rhythm Spoons episode, Marty Mart's Meatloaf and Waffles. A lot of people will call that the classic Martin episode. That drops the day before Bad Boys release. The Monday after Bad Boys release, season 5, episode 20 of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Is that why he don't want me?
No, the hell, that would be too coincidental. As the wheel turns, the soap opera episode, if y'all remember when Will landed the gig on the soap opera, whatever. Not a classic per se, but just the fact that they had 2 sitcoms at the height of their game. Well, maybe not Fresh Prince, it was on its way out. But still 2 of the most beloved and talked about sitcoms. And squeezed in between there is a film that made a buku amount of money that nobody was expecting and kind of took both of them into a whole another level. I think that's impressive. Like, we were all watching Fresh Prince, we were all watching Martin. To have this kind of in the middle and see, well, not Martin per se, because Martin was known as the raunchy one. You so crazy, you so motherfucking crazy. All types. He's the one that got banned from NBC. Not SNL, NBC. Nigga got banned from a whole station because of his performance on SNL, all of that. But we had not seen Will in this light. So we kind of took off the mask and made Will an adult. He got out of that Fresh Prince image and kind of made him a movie star. It was directed by Michael Bay. I did not know this, but this was his film debut. He had done commercials and music videos, but this was the first movie he ever directed. We all know Michael Bay now. You know, he's a very polarizing director and figure. But the fact that this was his first movie, I had no idea. Yeah. He also directed The Rock, Armageddon, 5 of the Transformer films, as well as Bad Boys 2. Screenplay was written by Michael Berry, Jim Mulholland, and Doug Richardson. The story was by George Gallo. George Gallo wrote one of my favorite films ever, Midnight Run. Shout out to Joe Pantalone, Joey Pants. He was in that film as well. And he also wrote Double Take with Eddie Griffin. And shout out to you, Mo. Eddie Griffin and my dog, Orlando Jones.
Orlando Jones.
Yeah, Orlando Jones, man. Budget of an estimated $19 million, grossed $141.4 million worldwide.
Huh?
$15.5 million the opening weekend. Opened up number 1 at the box office. Stayed at number 1 for 2 weeks. Week 1, it beat out another classic. It beat out a Goofy movie to be number 1 on the box office.
Goofy.
Yeah. And week 2, it beat out a movie called Rob Roy. It stayed in the top 10 as far as box office numbers for 7 weeks. And it was in the theater for 23 weeks, just shy of 6 months. There was a big concern. Studios went ahead and said the quiet thing out loud. We don't necessarily want Martin and Will. Black people don't do well overseas. This movie made $10 million more overseas than it did on U.S. soil.
Wow.
Just let you know, niggas is movie stars. We can sell anything. That is how big Martin and Will were.
Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me, bro.
If you want to watch the film, it's currently streaming on Pluto TV, which is free with a subscription. Not a subscription, you don't have to pay for it, but you have to log in, make a login. And then you also have Hulu. Streaming on both of them, or you can be an OG, you can own the film like myself. You know what I'm saying? Still got the DVD, still got a DVD player. As far as awards, historian, you already know. As far as awards, 3 nominations and 1 win. Mark Mancina, he was the head of music on this film. He was the winner of the 1995 BMI Film Music Award. And I did not know this. Rachel, you may have known this. Babyface was nominated for a Grammy for this film.
I did not know that.
Did not know that. The song "Someone to Love."
So, of course.
Yep, it was on the film soundtrack. Best song written specifically for a motion picture or television. Did not win the Grammy, but he was nominated. So shout out to Babyface for that. As far as the cast, we have Martin Lawrence as Detective Sergeant Marcus Miles Burnett. Will Smith as Detective Sergeant Michael Eugene Lowry, better known as My Lowry. Tia Leone as Julie Mott. There's an actress who almost played her role, Marissa Tomei.
I swear to God, I knew you were going to say
that. You know why? Because I did the same thing, Rachel. When I thought about, I was thinking, like, who else could have played that? I'm like, Marissa Tomei. For some reason, they remind me of each other.
They remind me of each other.
I don't know what it is. It's just one of them things.
Yeah.
This is one of them things.
Oh yeah,
I can't pronounce his name correctly. Sheke Carrillo. He's a French actor. He played Fouchette, the main antagonist of the film. Yeah. Teresa Randall. Shout out to Teresa Randall.
Shout out to her. I hope she's doing well.
Absolutely, man. One of my so beautiful. Teresa Burnett, Joe Pantalone. I might be saying that wrong.
We just call him Pants.
Yeah, Joey. We always call him Joey Pants. As Captain Conrad Howard, Michael Imperioli as JoJo, John Sally as Fletcher. There's a lot of other peoples, but those are the people we're going to name here. First and foremost, Mo, you're a guest on the show. You've already given your answer, but I got to ask you officially. Bad Boys, classic or not?
Obviously, but there's something else I want to add to your information segment.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I listened to the audiobook of Will. Amazing. If you haven't already, that is by far, and he's reading it and he's taking you there. Couple of things he said. One, Michael Bay said, "I want to make you a sex symbol."
Yeah, I got it in the notes. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's for that scene. We'll wait till that scene. Then you got that in your notes.
Yeah, I got it in the scene.
What about the running thing? Did you got that in your notes too? The
which one?
Him, like the choreographed running, like how he actually.
No, I do not have that.
Okay, so he said he didn't like how action stars looked in movies, how they ran. He said like Tom Cruise, and I forgot who else he named. He didn't like how they looked weird running. So he hired, like, I don't know if it was like some like track coach or something, but he wanted to have a certain form because when his running scene came, he wanted to look good running. So it's very funny.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So like when I look at it, he's getting like
shit.
So that was and then also one more thing is Martin's number one on this. Martin actually called Will. He called Will out and said, "Hey yo," like he's like Marty Ma, Willie Will. Like he said, that's how it went. He was like, "Hey man, I got this movie they want to do," and of course, originally this was casted for white men, and we got what we have now. So that was just a little bit to add to the information segment.
Nah, I appreciate it, my brother. Yeah, we're gonna talk about those white men who were originally cast for this film. Also, a little nugget. Never mind, because it's gonna put too much. Martin's sister is the one who suggested he get Will for this movie. The only thing I was gonna say was Martin's sister shares a name with our beautiful co-host. I'm not gonna say the name. I'm talking about like first and last, and I don't want to say the full name because I don't know how many people know.
She has the whole name.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it's not Rachel, it's Ray.
Oh,
and then
the last name.
Interesting.
So I was just like, yeah, man. Like, shout out to Ray P for getting Will in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Shout out.
Right.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope information, Mo. We're gonna get into some more. We're gonna talk about the origin. Go ahead, Rachel.
I was just thinking, and they from DC, very well could be related.
Hey.
Very well could be. Hey, you better holler at your peoples.
Holler at your peoples. Huh?
You better holler at your peoples, man.
Very well could be somewhere down the chain.
Yeah, man. Mo started alluding towards this, so let's go ahead and talk about the origin. How was this film made? Obviously, this is a Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer production. You see the logo. They're still the production company for the new film and all 4 films in the franchise. They pumped out some very noteworthy films and franchises. Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, Bad Boys, of course. Other films, Crimson Tide, Dangerous Minds, The Rock, Days of Thunder, Enemy of the State. Films that we've kind of briefly mentioned on this podcast. It was originally supposed to star Dana Carvey and John Lovitz. They were the original leads for this film. The film actually had a different title. It was called Bulletproof Hearts. They both played on SNL together. If you had to Google both of them because you're not familiar with them, that's understandable. I personally am. I know exactly who both of them are. Obviously, Dana Carvey, SNL, Wayne's World, John Lovitz, SNL. One of my favorite movies he's a part of. Great White Hype. He's been in a ton of other things. But they were the original Bad Boys. Obviously, it was going to be a completely different movie with them being in it. Fate always has a way of working itself out. They were attached. They were signed. Everything was on board. The reason it didn't happen is because Dana Carvey went to Las Vegas with Don Simpson. Don Simpson has passed away. Don't say this to sound ill, but Don Simpson had a very well-known reputation for being a wild boy. All right. He's a wild boy. Wild to the point where Dana Carvey went to Vegas with that nigga. He said, absolutely not. Too much for me. Not doing it. You can count me out. Yeah. He was, the term used was shocked. Shocked at his wild ways.
Wow.
And it was enough for him to say, I do not want to, it was enough for me to say, I do not want to do this movie. And the film went in the turnaround. Mo alluded to it. That's when it got to Martin. Martin was attached to Star. Important to remember, Martin was first billing. Martin had more star power. Martin was the bigger star in 1994 and 1995. For those who don't know, for those who don't remember, if you weren't around, very important to know that. I know it sounds crazy because if you're born after that time, you've known Will to be the bigger star, but Martin was the one. So he had the film. He was in charge of kind of getting this person. The studio. Does anybody know who the studio wanted to star with Martin and who they made an offer to?
Blair Underwood.
Arsenio Hall.
Oh, they were trying to go somewhere else with it.
The studio made an offer to Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall passed. He says that was the biggest mistake of his life. It was acting life, not his entire life, but of his professional career. He, of course, took the high road of, things work out how they're supposed to work out. But it is something he thinks about. He was supposed to be the co-star with Martin. Martin wanted his own co-star. Who do you think Martin wanted?
Like, it's a friend, a close friend of Martin's?
I don't know if they're close friends, but a fellow comedian.
Bernie Mac?
Nope. I'll tell you this. Here's a hint. They ended up doing a movie together 4 years later.
Oh, 4 years later.
Murphy.
So
Eddie Murphy.
Okay. Now that still could have been gold. That still could have been gold.
Good. Yeah.
Eddie can go there. Like I'm a firm believer in Eddie's acting chops for real. Like I know people don't credit him for real, but like when it comes to acting on the drama, I that could have worked.
Yeah. Eddie can act his ass off. That's right before. Oh, go ahead and say it again, Rachel. So Mo could hear you.
Oh, I said, and he was still sexy in the 90s, like in that boomerang bag.
Oh yeah. My wife literally said that's the only time I've ever seen. I thought Eddie was sexy. I said that nigga did his job.
Shout out to Marcus Graham. But Rachel, to your point, this is they're filming in '94, so this is 2 years before the release of Nutty Professor, Buddy Love. When we did our Nutty Professor episode, School pointed out like Eddie was in a downslide of his career. As much of a downslide you can take of being Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
But he had his, he was on the rise in the 80s, kind of reached this star peak, like this peak stardom that not a lot of people have ever reached. Like in the 80s, I think it's fair to say it was Michael Jackson 1, Eddie Murphy 2, as far as like famous people. There's probably some other people I'm leaving out, but you guys get the point that I'm saying. Famous black people, yes. Thank you. Famous black people. Like some other people, but he's up there. You said who?
Magic
Johnson. Yeah, Magic Johnson's up there, all that kind of good stuff. But once he started turning around to the 90s, remember Boomerang wasn't necessarily what we know it to be today. And he was making a run of bad movies, the Last Gentleman, all this other stuff. And Nutty Professor was the one that kind of brought him back. But this would have been perfect for that time, and I would love to see it or to think about it. But at this point, there's no way we can think of anybody but Martin or Will. As I mentioned, Martin wanted Eddie. Shout out to Ray P. Ray P went to her brother and said, "Hey, you should get Will. I think you two will do great in this. I see something. I think there's some kind of chemistry." Maurice already alluded to the phone call. One thing that I thought was interesting about that phone call is Martin said, "Hey, man, after the one meeting, Martin knew that Will was the perfect person. Said, I need you in on this with me. Martin hit him with the, hey, all right, man, cool, send the scripts. And Martin was like, no. Same way he did when Gina was asking about what kind of job he. No, I ain't got no office.
No.
Yeah, nah.
No more that. No more that.
But yeah, he told Will, man, I ain't no script, man. The script is a struggle. I ain't gonna hold you. I just need you to walk by faith on this. And Will said, if anybody that knows me knows how hard that is for me. Like, I don't do anything blindly. But there was some kind of trust and a bond that I built with Martin after this meeting. It felt right, and I went ahead and agreed to it. Speaking of the script was awful. The script was terrible. Talked about Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer. Famously, if you're familiar with films and Eddie Murphy, famously, Beverly Hills Cop. The script, if it wasn't for Eddie Murphy, that movie would have never been made. He literally made that movie on the spot.
Nigga.
They had outlines. There was no script. There were outlines. And majority of the script would say, Eddie, do your thing. And he improv majority of that film, and they did the same in Bad Boys. That's actually part of the reason why it took 8 years for a sequel. That's why there was such a long gap. They had to improv so much in this film that by the time they became stars, they both said, hey, listen, we love Bad Boys. We refuse to do that shit again.
Yeah.
We refuse to do it again. So y'all got to come up with a script. Nobody can agree with it. They finally agreed to a script 8 years later. Then we get the sequel. But that's a part everybody always wanted to know. Why was there such a big gap in between? Because the first script was so bad that they refused to even partake in it again. No matter how much fun they had with each other, all of that. It was just too much work, too much a headache. Juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I don't care how much money we make. So they actually got the script under control. And 29 years, 4 films later, here we are. Martin made the right choice by getting Will. And that's about it.
Let's get into it.
Let's go ahead and get into it. Well, let me ask you this. I got a couple questions before we get into it.
Okay.
I want to know, and also about the script. The script was written originally. Part of the reason why the script was so bad, it was written for Dana Carvey and John Lovitz. It's written for 2 white men.
Yeah.
So they had to take the script and change a lot of it to a lot of black vernacular, all types of stuff on the screen. Say it like a white man. Like, who tore off and whooped your ass now? Like, that's something that they had to come up with on the spot. Because Dana Carvey would have said, hey, what happened to you? So they had to do all of that.
They had to
but first experience, there you go, Rachel. Had to mix up. First experience, we kind of talked about it a little bit. We were all 8 years old and younger. I don't think anybody went to the theaters. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I definitely did not.
Bad Boys is just one of those movies. I'll speak for everybody. Bad Boys is just one of those movies you just see. You don't remember when. You just seen it, and it's embedded in you. You recognize Martin and Will, and it's a movie you've seen. I don't know if there's any kind of cool story about that. But I want to ask you both a couple questions. First, is Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett the best cop duo in movie history?
Ooh.
There's only 2 other, in my opinion, that you can even have a conversation about.
Okay, throw them in there.
Yeah.
Carter and Lee. Carter and Lee from Rush Hour.
Rush Hour.
Okay. I like that. I like it.
Murtaugh and Riggs from Lethal Weapon. Y'all know how much I dislike Mel Gibson, but I can't separate the art from the human being, no matter how much of a piece of shit you are. Lethal Weapon is a classic franchise. So they can be up there in the conversation for cop duo. I'll tell you my answer. I think it's not even close. I know a lot of people like the Carter and Lee and do that whole thing. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It is Martin and Will. It's Mike and Marcus for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Just because I don't, other than Rush Hour, I don't care enough about any of those other movies.
Fair.
What about Denzel and Mark Wahlberg? Is that are they cop buddies?
2 Guns? Yeah, 2
Guns.
I don't even think they're cops. They're on some other
Not
shit.
really cops.
No.
Okay.
And a cool, funny, enjoyable movie. Not the best movie, but it's something you can watch with Denzel.
What about
Shout out to Denzel.
What about 48 Hours? Is that?
Hell nah. You ever seen 48 Hours, Mo?
No. I'm just
48 Hours.
Okay, what about Men in Black?
48 Hours might be one of the most racist movies.
Well,
I want to call it a cop.
I guess I'm looking at like, okay, just cop in general. Okay, you might be right, Dan.
Let me say this real quick. I just want to say this for everybody out there listening. 48 Hours is one of the most racist, not supposed to be racist movies that has ever been made. Wildly entertainment. I mean, Nick Nolte is calling Eddie Murphy watermelon as a nickname throughout the film. Shit is ridiculously racist.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Reggie Hampton for putting up with all that. Eddie Murphy was an absolute star in that entire film. But I can't say that just because of how racist Nick Nolte was. Like it was comically racist. Like you laughed at the racism. That's how funny it was.
I'll say yeah. I would say yeah, but I'm only basing that off of the merit of this movie, and maybe even two. And that's as far as I'll go as far as the cop bearing, because equally while they're very talented and skilled in their field, they're very argumentative, and I'll speak a little bit more to that later in this review. But I would say when it's time to get down to business, especially on this one, I'm like, oh yeah, when it's time to do it, we doing it.
For sure.
I can name a lot more TV partners.
Well, yeah, TV, yeah, different. Yeah.
But movies, I think they're up there for me. Once again, I just thought it was very cool to see two of those big sitcom stars. Like I said, young 8-year-old Kyron, like Will Smith cusses. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What? I knew Martin. I knew how Martin get down, but like I said, Will Smith cusses like he was a grown man. Like he transitioned, got the goatee.
For sure. I was gonna say, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. It's still tricky to hear Will Smith cuss because you can tell he cusses in his everyday life, not just keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. But there was a clip that went viral the other day of promo for Bad Boys 4.
Like, nigga, I promise you can. Nigga, I promise you can do it. Most stupid.
There was a clip and Will is talking about his son. I don't know if it's Trey or Jaden. But he's like, nigga. And I'm like, oh, you really are a black dad for real, despite all the foolishness. But it's always interesting. Like, okay, if it's written in the script, whatever. But just like in conversation and everyday life, it sounds funny because it's Will Smith. You know, Will Smith doesn't have to cuss in his raps to sell records. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do.
I just like to see that. I like niggas cussing. So.
Hey, welcome to the Culture Garden.
I still remember when y'all switched over too. That was funny.
We give y'all that explicit content warning every episode. Make sure y'all know. Make sure y'all know what type of time it is, man. Make sure the kids got the headphones on with the iPads. Nah, that's funny. That's funny, man. Shout out to Drewski, man. When LeBron starts saying nigga like that, I don't know if y'all seen that clip floating around today. When LeBron starts saying nigga. But all right, new segment alert. Before we get into scenes, we got a new segment. We got 2 new segments this episode, Rachel, that we were going to continue on with the Culture Garden.
Okay.
All right. Breaking news to you. Dropping this off. Segment is called Movie Poster Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So, it's Bad Boys. Is the poster making it to the Movie Poster Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Mo?
Do you need more?
Let me see. Let me see. So the official one is the one that's like on the DVD, right?
That's what I'm calling the official one.
Nah.
Do they have a poster? Even if it's not in the Poster Hall of Fame? Okay. So let's go through this real quick. Since this is a new segment, I went back at all our past episodes and I just jotted down some titles that I thought could be in the Movie Poster Hall of Fame. I'd love to know from each one of you if you agree or disagree. You can literally just say agree or disagree.
Okay.
All right. I'm not saying these are all in there. They're up for consideration. Rapid fire. 5 heartbeats. Or you can say yes or no, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Yep.
Love Jones.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. I agree.
House Party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about to say that one should be unanimous. Best Man.
No.
Soul Food.
No, I say
no.
I say no. I say no on Best Man. Sorry, I'm a little step behind. I'm getting this all that. Soul Food.
But you said no on Soul Food. Mo, you said no on Soul Food. Set It Off.
Yes.
Got to.
Yeah, that's hard. That damn near look like Death Row.
That's like a Death Row cover, right?
That's a Death Row
Set It
cover.
Off
That's hard
Yeah,
right
Set It
there,
Off.
dog.
Set It Off might be top 5. There's an argument for
That
top
might
5.
be, bro. That's hard.
Love and Basketball.
Absolutely. Come on. The basketball, them holding it up together. Huh?
Yeah.
And they kissing? Come on,
Yeah.
dog. You can't get more across a picture than that.
We've already talked about this when we did the episode, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Absolutely
Yeah.
in the movie Poster Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. I promise you I'm not trying to be funny. Queen and Slim. Movie poster. Movie poster. That's a hard-ass picture of them on that car.
Beautiful.
Hard-ass picture, right, Pete?
It is. Hall of Fame.
Movie poster.
Nah, I wouldn't. No.
Dead Presidents.
Yes. Iconic.
Yeah, the white. I mean, I've seen people drop mixtapes with the white paint on the face, bro.
With the mind mask.
Training Day.
No.
Juice.
Hold on. That Training Day, that Training Day go, bro. Like it's. I would like a little bit more, but yeah, it's just like the movie. You have no idea what you're about to get into. I'm gonna say yeah.
Fair.
All right, I'm gonna do a couple more. Juice.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
That Juice post is crazy.
No on Juice.
Yeah,
gotta go with the Juice.
Yeah, the Juice.
Gotta put the Juice up there.
Yeah.
Gotta go with Juice.
That Juice is like, come
on. Another Tupac movie, Above the Rim.
Yes.
See.
Let's go real quick. Let's go non-culture.
No, Above the Rim.
No, Above the Rim. Let's go non-culture. Pretty Woman.
Yes. Iconic.
That's an iconic movie poster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's iconic. I've seen that flipped a few times. Yeah.
3 more. Boomerang.
Yes.
Menace to Society.
I'm gonna say no on Boomerang.
No, Menace.
I know the answer. You're great.
I'm damn, it's like somewhere in the middle, but I'll probably say no. Because it got that hood element, like it feel like a bootleg, but
yeah.
But no.
I know the answer for Rachel on this. So Mo, let's see what you got. What's love got to do with it?
Oh yeah, that's really good. I love the that's
there's
fine.
more. There's more that we could add, but for the sake of time, we're not going to do it. We've already talked about Low Down Dirty Shame. We discussed that film. That's in there, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Very similar to Bad Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So I put Bad Boys in there. We'll start doing that each week to see if the movie poster is in.
I like that. Great segment, bro. Great segment.
Let's go ahead and get into the movie.
Yes.
Oh, you are the guest. Let's go ahead and start it with you. What's your first scene, my brother?
I mean, this is a reoccurring thing that's starting to happen more and more on Culture Garden. Of course, it's the opening scene.
Absolutely.
Setting the stakes. Immediately we get into the relationship. I know Rich speaks a lot to love being dropped into the world, like not having always to build backwards, but just drop you right into something. You immediately see him riding around. Mike Lowry got the shades on. He got that, he got that sports car. And Marcus is trying to get his eat on. And, he's talking about how the expensive whip is $105,000. And, I love this scene because Mike is so believable. Like for me, immediately, like, their chemistry is so dope. And this nigga, like, bro, I'm trying to eat a burger. This is the only thing I enjoy right now. I ain't really getting it in at the crib for real. Let me have this moment for real, bro. Fall back. And then when the nigga eats the sandwich and drop the fries down, he's like, he pulls over, he's like, nah, nigga, get that. Like, nigga, I'm not playing. Nigga, get that. Pick it up, bro. I was like, yo, Mike and Marcus is my niggas right away. So, yeah, they're opening scene easily,
Absolutely. Rachel, you got anything to add to that scene?
Nope. I, too, had the intro. I just liked it for all of those very same reasons. And we say it every week just about. It sets the scene and the tone of the movie. It lets us know who the characters are, at least on a surface level, So, no, that's it. Mo got it.
Y'all know how I feel about brotherhood until you see that brotherhood. Because you can only talk to your brother that way. Yep. You can only disrespect his car by eating in it when you know he don't play that shit if you his brother. You can always pull over full speed and tell the nigga to get it if you reverse. So I love that aspect of it. Some quotables in that scene. I bet you a big Popeye's cheap chicken eating motherfucker, ain't you? Why I always got to get the big thick motherfuckers? Now let's hear one of those jokes, bitches. But one quick fact about that film that I really love, or excuse me, the scene that I really love. This was the last scene shot for the movie, and it was shot after filming wrapped. We talk about test audiences, right? On Culture Garden, they ran this for a test audience. It came back that they needed a little bit more comedy in the film. So after filming had already wrapped, they called Martin and Will back up. Michael Bay lent them his car. This was his Porsche because they didn't have any more money in the budget. They didn't even have enough money to rent a car. So he lent his car for production, and they shot this scene, and they added it to the beginning of the movie. And it became one of the classic scenes of that movie. So I thought that was really dope.
That's dope. I would say, sorry, go ahead. Okay. I would say too, I think that's an interesting take. I have not even a hot take, but a strong opinion about Marcus, how he's been portrayed later down the road after this one. And I think him say, I always got to get the thick ones. I don't think he's joking when he says, like, I always got the more challenging task, but he's really about the shits for real. Like, and that speaks to why I will always say this is better than the others, because of the Marcus element of the pairing. But I love this, and just like the fact is, like, bro, ain't no cup holders in here, so we just two balls just dragging them, like that whole thing was just brilliant. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to speak that little, like, how Marcus is really gets active. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Same reason why this is my favorite. This is my favorite Marcus Burnett performance. Yes. My second favorite actually is probably the new one.
Really?
Yeah, I think they revamped they brought his character back to a little bit more. I have a whole thing on Marcus and his character and what they did throughout the films.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily want to get too deep in that rabbit hole. Rachel, you gonna say something?
I'm just very curious as to what you just said. Now I'm even more geeked to kind of go see it.
Yeah, me too.
I talked about that trailer earlier where Will is talking. Martin is also in the interview, and he's talking about preparing for the movie. And when they got the callbacks, Will is telling the story where Martin had already lost like 50 pounds between 2020 and filming this one. So again, to those negative comments and whatever else that came out with 3, now for you to say that his performance in 4 eclipses that of even 2.
Yeah.
I'm even more excited.
Let me get into that a little bit, very briefly as I can. So in 2, there's something to say about Martin. Martin was at his physical comedy peak in this film, right? I think he was still at his peak. Aesthetically, he looks differently than what he did in 2 and the other movies. Obviously, we all get older, we all change. That's all good. Nothing wrong with that. But what they did in Bad Boys 2, where they had him wanting to not be partners with Will and all this and that, and it was funny because I was looking at it as a whole, and I was like, okay, then that kind of makes sense. Because, and what really triggered it for me was the JoJo scene. And I'm sure we'll talk about it when we get to that scene. But the JoJo scene at the end, when they get the information, Martin was the one playing good cop. Martin was the one in there. And I've always looked at it from the perspective of, man, I missed like the rugged, rough Marcus Burnett. And it ain't even that. It's not even nothing about that. It's really, Marcus has been this whole way. He was just a younger version. As a family man with kids, of course I'm going to get to a point where, nigga, I don't want to run with your trigger happy ass no more. I got a family to get into.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know what I mean? As we get in Bad Boys 3, yes, I'm retiring, bro. Like, nigga, I seen you get shot. I'm done. I'm cool. Like, I'm out of this. So it makes a lot more sense. I've learned to appreciate his character more because I wanted more of that. Like, hey, man, why you doing that? And obviously it brought one of the greatest Bad Boys moments, the whole woosah. Why are you so eager to kind of just play the good guy? Why are you so giving these people chances? But they both been true to character throughout the entire franchise. I just don't think I realized it. I think I remember Martin to be a little bit more rugged than he actually was. Martin's been a family man from day one.
Yeah, for sure.
But from a comedic aspect, I think they did more. Once again, Rachel, to that point we talked about earlier, I think people like me were looking like, hey, man, like Martin has more to give than what you're allowing him to give. And from a comedic standpoint, he was funny, man. Like he was the comedic anchor for the movie, in my opinion. And I don't want to oversell it. I just want everybody to see it and kind of give me their opinion. But I really liked it. There's an event that happened to him, and it kind of changed his mindset. And you kind of just carry it throughout the film. So I personally liked it, and the whole Marcus Burnett thing.
Okay, shout out to that. Yeah, I'll go into my next scene, which is actually Mike. Huh?
My fault. I was actually going to ask you: Do you want to go with the scenes, or do you would just chime in? It's up to you.
I'll chime in right here.
Okay, go ahead.
I could just flow. Mike at the breakfast table with Marcus's family, just because we truly get to see, the elements that Marcus is living in, and his life is so vastly different. And it's nothing like that uncle or auntie who is kid adverse, and we see Mike sort of be that in trying to finagle his way, trying to be the cool uncle. And I just like that because, again, the story of their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't kiss me. I don't know where your lips been.
Exactly.
Just that aspect of
don't you ever put your stinking ass hands on me. And I'm telling my big brother. Sorry, y'all, about that.
Yeah, man. Because you gotta, we talk about friendships and all that stuff. But there's a difference. There's a different level. You could be friends with somebody, but there's a whole different level when people are coming to your house unannounced. Exactly. I'm not unannounced. I'm sure he knew he was coming, but I ain't got to knock. Y'all know it's Uncle Mike. Bro. I'm taking bacon off the plate. I'm kissing the wife. We family over here.
Yeah.
So I just love seeing that. It kind of gives you an inside look. Okay, these ain't just partners. These are real deal homies.
There's a real relationship there.
Yeah, exactly. And also going into that scene flows right into them getting the phone call, going to the station, realizing the station's a crime scene, setting up the stage and the plot of this film and what they're actually aiming towards. You meet Ruiz and Sanchez, which I thought were hilarious throughout the movie. I wish we had more of them throughout the series, but this is the only film they appeared in. What the hell are you talking about cojones? Cojones. It take me a month to explain to you what cojones are. Like, say you live in Miami, I gotta explain cojones. That shit was hilarious. But for me, after that scene, I would say going into the car ride.
Okay.
Where Maurice, you quoted me where I always say I like being dropped into the world. That's my thing in movies. Don't give me, just give it to me as we go along. Act like I just met these dudes the first day. As an audience, we're learning how Mike got his money. You know what I mean? It's over. We ain't gonna. The case is done unless we get these drugs back. All of us gonna be out of a job. Well, most of us. You know what I mean? Some of us just playing cop, and just that anger that Mike had. I'm sure he had been hearing that his whole life. You just a rich kid, bro. You trying to overcompensate because of all this money. You trying to hang with the tough dudes when you really come from privilege. Blah blah blah. And obviously Marcus is dealing with real issues. Like, my nigga, if I lose my job, I have 3 kids and a wife.
Yeah.
Real estate in Miami. I have a home here. I can't just go jobless. This is real for me. I know you cool, but they tend to think Mike Lowry gonna be all right. That whole thing. There's just not that same amount of urgency. You always wanted to be Starsky and Hutch. Once again, goes back to that brotherhood and that relationship. I've known you for so long. I know you always talk about doing this goofy shit. And then also in that scene, Martin took real offense to Will calling him a bitch. Slow ass drive, you driving like a bitch. To the point where he pulled Michael back, hey man, I don't like that. He was like, hey man, well, how would you respond? How would Marcus respond? So that response is all ad-libbed. You know what I'm saying? Why gotta be all that, huh?
Yeah.
I'm saying be 2 bitches in the sea. And one of my favorite quotes, I'm gonna step on it earlier, but when I still say this all the time, I ain't married. My wife know I ain't a bitch.
You heard? I did want to chime in because I had a scene before that, and I didn't get to really respond to the Barnett house scene, but just the early morning. I mean, I'm married, so it's some relatability here, with the exception of the shop is closed. That ain't never happening. That ain't never even going. That's not even a thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's never a thing. In the Hunt's house, maybe the Barnett's house, but in the Hunt's house, it's never a thing. But
put your foot down, Bo.
You heard?
I was like, who is this bitch? If she don't
I
shut
got
up.
married to stop lying.
Oh shit.
but but nah, I just to kind of chime into that scene and move it a little forward because I know we already passed it, but like, I mean, he trying to set up a play in the morning. Everybody knows that morning setup is it's like, it's like anyway, I ain't gonna even go there. That's a good earnest thing. Look, I ain't gonna go there. But he was ready to get there, and then the kids come in, and that's like I said, relatable content.
Yeah.
And we definitely got like the cousin, the aunt, the uncle that comes around that is like that boost of energy that you need. And then what I had after that scene before the ride, because I actually have the car ride as well. I have the I think I got the gym scene.
When he goes to see Max?
Yeah, when he goes to see Max. So Marcus, showing us them hands, and Mike talking to Maxine. So I think Eddie Griffin, he went on record at one point. I don't know if he was on Vlad, but he talked about like outside of me, everybody knew Martin had the nicest hands as a comedian.
Golden Gloves.
Yeah, Golden Gloves. So I love me and my wife were huge fans of like when Martin get busy on like when he doing karate, whatever, he just joking around back in the day. Like, he's so believable. Like, yeah, he really throw them hands. So I definitely like that scene. And then obviously Max. I mean, Max, goodness gracious. Anyways, but yeah, but the car ride, going into the car ride, which you were speaking to, I love that, but I'll speak to the quote of it because the quote, that's one of my favorite quotes as far as I'm just playing cop. Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, that's it. I just want to kind of catch up with you.
Shout out to Martin. For those who don't know, got into a fist fight with Cameron, not the rapper Cameron, the actor Cameron who played Jamal in House Party 2, the white dude with dreads.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
What?
Documented, stories are told about it. They got in a fight, all that whole nine. Martin got hands free.
He worked him.
No spoiler alerts. So,
when are we ever going to talk about this again? There's no spoilers.
I'm just gonna have people look it up. Man.
Oh, look it up.
Just
Okay.
look at the story. Find your own documentation. Just know
Gotcha.
Martin wasn't playing with dude like that.
I mean, we ride with Martin.
Shout out to Bilal. These ain't damn the jokes. Damn.
I don't joke all the time, Pam.
Yeah. My next scene, or is it on you, Mo? Technically?
We
just did. Yeah, you just kind of went through yours.
Yes,
scene.
I did. Sure.
Mine is Marcus pretending to be Mike. Like Marcus had to pretend to be Mike. So we're really talking about Julie calling the police station.
Yeah.
Up until the shootout on the street. That whole sequence.
For sure.
Because Martin's at home. He's at the station on the phone with his wife. He's trying to get the quality time. Cat coming in, and throughout this whole film, Martin's comedic genius, his physical comedy, like the things that just add that extra little flair. Like when Cap is on the phone, like Mike, he just got out the bathroom. This nigga looking up, like, where this nigga at? Like I ain't got time for no games, man. I ain't about to do all this. Okay. Obviously the talk like him. You don't talk sexy. You don't sound sexy enough. The whole the legend of Mike Lowry and all that. Him getting with the decoys flow. It's Mike Lowry, like just trying to do all that. Everybody was quoting that, and I don't know. The whole thing is silly. The whole them switching places is very silly. Like, I don't know if we just been ignoring it for 29 years, but the concept is goofy on its head. But for some reason, it works.
Yes.
It works throughout this film. We pay it no mind. We kind of keep cruising with it. Julie swinging that bat. She knows right away, this ain't the nigga that Maxine been describing. Not the one she been Googling the Gaga. Like, this is not him. It ain't no. So the fact that she knew that, and it's crazy because you could pull that off. It was 1995. There was no social media. Ain't no show me his page. Where's his picture? If you don't have a physical copy of his picture, then you don't know what this person looks like. You can't Google him. None of that. Like,
word of mouth.
It can work in that time. And obviously the shootout on the street, to them being chased out. This is an undercover car, all of it. I just thought that was a great segment of us learning and getting the plot moved along.
Mm-hmm. I had that too. Go ahead.
I had something before that actually. Maxine and Julie, the private session at Al Capone's house or whatever.
Yeah, Al Capone suite at the Biltmore, which is really Al Capone suite,
right? Which I believe because I was like, it seemed like they really emphasized that element. But it's the acting chops of the young lady that plays Maxine in the scene where how quickly she realizes this is not going to be a regular session. She did she's underrated in the film because her eyes and how quickly her body language showed, like, okay, because clearly in her line of business, she knows, oh, this is not going to be an easy, quick pickup. I'm about to, yada, 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 yada. You know what I'm saying? This ain't about to be one of them sets. This about to be something different where I need to kind of wrap this up quick. And I didn't brought my roommate and she ain't even on that type of time. So it's like how quickly she picks up those things. And then obviously her unfortunate demise, as a model. And I mean, I can't tell you, I know the listeners that y'all have, there's certain movies that you've seen a million times, but for some reason, you hope it goes differently. You hope that Ricky don't get shot. You hope, you watch it and you hope. Yeah, I always hope for this is one of those scenes for me. I always hope Maxine doesn't get killed. I'm like, bro, just let her go. And it always hits me every single time. And they put the dramatic, she falls through the glass and then the dude gets shot. And I've said this before, but like, this is one of the few movies I feel like shows the real depiction of what it might be like to get shot. The way that dude reacted, like that seems like that's how it feels. Like most time people be acting like a G. I'm like, nah, you ain't a G, bro. You got a bullet in you. Yeah, like this dude act like it really hurt. I was like, yo, nigga, like, and he on coke. You shouldn't even feel it, nigga. That nigga felt that. That nigga, I was like, yo, this is good acting, bro. I felt like this nigga got shot. This is real method acting right now. Hey, get the surgeon on the field right now. This nigga got shot for real. This nigga try to get an Emmy out here. Try to get an Oscar or something. But the scene is just powerful for me. And then, of course, Julie running and all that, everything that happens after that. But I think she's very underrated, the young lady that plays Maxine here. Wish we had more time with her.
Yeah, shout out to her, man. That's a great point. You said it right.
That's so Mo. I was just thinking about this one time I went to the gun range and I had on a V-neck shirt. And when those fucking shells started popping me in my chest, I almost caused a whole scenario. So I can't even imagine really getting shot because here in my silly self, gun in the hand, like, oh my God. I got burn marks. I was like, hold on.
Nigga,
I need a break.
Nigga. Hell to the no.
Joke, that shit hot. Hey, them bullets hot, man. Shout out to Karen Alexander. That's the actress that played
Karen Alexander. Shout out to her, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the scene. The first time we meet Chet. So Marcus is bringing Julie to Mike's. Mm-hmm. Mike still doesn't know. It's all undercover. And just the way Chet played that. Who's the chick? How's your wife?
Yeah.
And Marcus kind of gets that, it ain't like that. Oh, okay. And your kids, because, family is the most important thing, It's just something funny about seeing niggas do dirt. As another nigga, if you see another nigga do dirt and they come talking to you, just that kind of slick. Mo, we talked about it in Good Earners this past episode, where you peep the play, and it's one of those. Okay, all right,
no
secret safe with me, but I'm all right, whatever, cool.
Till I bring you in for extortion.
Exactly.
Your family doing well, my nigga.
You and I know what's going on.
Yeah, you and I know what's going on, man. So, he told that nigga to have fun.
It ain't like that.
It ain't like that.
Yeah.
And obviously going into Martin's apartment or going into Mike's apartment, the physical comedy and just that comedic element of what Martin was able to display. Something about the improv, like even when they walk in, damn, I must have left the incense burning. Like just silly shit that only black people would say. I must have left the incense burning. When he fell over those steps. Why am I tripping over shit that I know was there?
Bruh.
Like him just trying to act like he actually lived there. That was just great physical comedy from Martin. Yvette was calling and leaving a voicemail. Just the whole scene was played up perfectly. And as soon as Marcus, goes back downstairs to talk to Chet, oh, that was quick. You one of those guys, huh?
Bruh, right. Like, shut up, nigga.
But that's my scene, man. I don't know if you had one before or after that, Bo. But yeah, that was my next scene.
Nothing. Of course, the shootout was really good. Of course, they keeping us in that realm. Very classic. Having the beads on the seat in the car. You talk about 90s, bro.
That's 90s.
That is so 90s, dog. The beads.
He had the Crown air freshener in the back too.
Come on,
Air Freshener never shake this the crown. He had to have that.
Yeah. That was so classic. I'm sorry. I'm a fiend for nostalgia. Give me a
I
break.
love it. I love it.
No doubt.
Do
What's your next
either of
demo?
you have,
I'll go ahead. I'm off that, right?
no, you're good. Do either of you have when Mike actually shows up to his apartment to Julie and Marcus there?
I do.
Yes, but I do have something before that.
Okay, go ahead. Whichever.
So I will just say it. Mike and Marcus at the police station. Stop wearing my shirt scene. One of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. One of my favorite scenes in the entire movie because, and honorary mention, shout out to the captain scene in the basketball court.
Yeah.
I always laughed at that. I thought that was great. I didn't put that in my favorite scenes, even though it is one of those memorable ones. But obviously that was the moment when he told them, hey, you, and you him, but not in front of her. But we finally, they traded places. Marcus is at Mike's watching over the family, and it's starting to wear him. Right? It's starting to wear him. It's one thing to be best friends with someone. It's another thing to be best friends and we work together. Like at some point, it's going to clash, and there's going to be a little bit of an overload.
Yeah.
Right. They don't have the luxury of having time apart. Like this is like a marriage too. Like we always around each other.
For sure.
So you see them frustrated with trading places. Mike is really fed up going from his single bachelor life to actually living with, his best friend's wife as well as their kids, doing the father thing. And Mark is in there talking about some man, like, I'm tired of this, man. I want my life back. He said, you know what? I can't believe you complaining. You got it easy compared to me living in that zoo you call a home. Bro. And the way Marcus stood up so quick, like best friends are not, hey man, don't be talking about my family like that. Because remember earlier, one of my favorite quotes, I'll say it later, but in the basketball court, hey man, we ain't the Cosbys.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, this ain't that. This is a real household, real black household that we got.
Yeah,
and the way Marcus jumped up and got in Mike's face, he's like, now you want in my face. Now you want to fight now. And then Mike realized, hey man, that's my silk shirt. Yeah, we want to be like Mike. I gotta dress like Mike. I wanna be like Mike. Pow! So everybody remembers that. Pager goes off, and this is when the scene really just gets there for me. Pager goes off. Mike looks at it without missing a beat. I gotta call the wife. Whose wife? Nigga, stop playing with me. I don't care how long I've known you. Like, who's right? He said, man, would you please do some work on this case? And as he's talking to Teresa, Ruiz and Sanchez come over. They're like, that's a nice shirt. You look real cute. He's like, hey, man, today ain't the day. Like, damn the jokes. Like, nigga, what do you say? Yeah, it ain't that kind of day. Leave me the fuck alone. Because we've all been there. I don't care how much I joke and how much I play. This ain't one of them times. Like, I'm quick to tell you, hey, leave me the fuck alone right now. I ain't here for the jokes. I ain't here for none of the play, none of that, bro. Me and him having a moment. Like, you better walk on somewhere with that shit.
Yeah.
And obviously, Mo, I'm curious of your opinion on this. With Mike being single, the phone hangs up. Mike acting like Teresa's still on the phone. Why don't you go get a movie, man, so we can kick back to what you wearing? The way the nigga Marcus jumped up so quick. Hey, Teresa. Okay. I love Marcus's reaction too. Yeah. Like, hey man, don't play like that. Don't play like that. Don't break up at home.
Hey, bro, stop playing.
And that nigga told me, stop wearing my clothes in.
Like, but this
no,
it is, and it speaks to like priorities. They're in such different realms. It's like what's important to Marcus versus Mike is just totally different, like completely. Yeah. What in a later scene where when Mike finally gets to this crib, it's like, oh, we're talking about carpet. Oh, we're talking about the dogs over here. Marcus is probably used to stuff like that. The kids, they didn't had a Kool-Aid stain over here. They didn't. He's probably used to that being a family man. So it don't register the same. So that it is a good scene. But before that, I did have like just when they were researching the criminals and Marcus was getting his eat on, getting his bologna sandwich on, which it's an art to really make people get hungry watching people eat in film. Like it's a real art. And Martin has that down. But it's a funny scene when she starts to go into like talk about like it's the leftovers, the hooves, and the stomach lining. I'm a vegetarian, so it's I don't go hard like that, like she does, as far as like trying to push people on that.
Not eating skin.
Yeah, but like he was like, okay, can I eat the pickle? Is that cool? Could I I just thought it registered even in 95. Like at this point for me, I was like, yeah, that was really good. But yeah, I love their buddy cop element of it.
For sure.
I'll speak. I don't know if there's a dislike or things that bother. I guess when we get to things that bother us, I'll speak to some of the chemistry things that may have bothered me. But yeah, I
Okay.
guess
I was gonna say,
my
Rachel, I know you mentioned, because right after that,
yeah.
and I don't know if there's anything in between, but we can jump to Rachel. You mentioned Mike coming to his home as Marcus and kind of meeting Julie for the first time. You want to go and get into that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we've kind of touched on it, but it's just somebody else in your space when you're not expecting them, wanting them there, anticipating none of that, it's already a thing. But you in my house fucking shit up. You in my everybody knows notoriously I am not an animal person, despite them dogs. I just don't and cannot. So if somebody had their fucking animal in my house shitting everywhere and I don't want you there in the first place, like I'm blowing a gasket. And I like the way that Mike / Marcus, wink, wink, played it like if it was me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have an issue. I would be losing it. I would be pissed. And that's it. And Mike or Marcus is kind of like, I was gonna throw that away anyway.
I was gonna get rid of that rug anyway. It ain't no problem.
Point used to being around kids and shit just getting fucked up because that's what kids do, you know. But I just really, really like that scene. And Julie looking like she's starting this sound. He looks more like who homegirl, who Maxine was describing, but interesting, you and your partner, wink wink.
All right.
Ad lib, 100% ad lib. Martin had no idea that was coming.
Yeah.
That whole scene was improv. He had no idea she was going to do that. So his reaction was real. Like, come again?
I mean, bro, how short?
Bits in the bed?
Bro, how short was her skirt though, bro? This skirt is like exceptionally short. Like I'm like,
it's the 90s. The mini
it is the 90s, but it is like crazy high. I'm like, this must be the 90s swag. Cause I was like, yo, her skirt is.
You know what's funny?
High. Yeah.
She says she's been quoted and said she like it's crazy to look back and look at how short my skirt was. But now, 30 years later, she said, "I'm glad that was I'm glad those legs were documented."
No, the legs.
I can't do that. So she even had a little bit of like, you know, like I can't believe I wore that. But now when we come back on it, like, hey man, I'm glad I did because I ain't got them legs no more. So
well, yeah, that's what you like. Look at your mama. Like, look at how your mama had it going on. You know, look at mama. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what you show the kids, like, and grandkids, like, oh yeah, I don't know. Let me pull it up real quick. Look at mama. Yeah, you see them legs? Yeah, I got receipts, you know.
Yeah, real quick on that scene, Rachel, to your point, there's that moment where Mike looks at Marcus as he's walking towards the back to check on Luke and Duke and what they done. Like he doesn't even look at Marcus. He just puts his hands like me and you. Like nigga, you got me fucked up. Like you know you got me fucked up, bro. And I'm not. It's not a playful like, oh, it's gonna be all right. Like, bro, no, we really gonna have to talk about this. Like, it's just a perfect tie into the beginning of the movie. You got fries all in my seats, bro. Your lack of respect for other people's property. Like it's something that really bothers me about you. And of course, just from the man perspective, Yvette coming through, pushing that nigga. Another physical comedy scene when
Yvette, when
Martin, no, Yvette, the masseuse.
The masseuse. Gotcha. Okay.
When Martin's trying to kick her out, Yvette pushes him back, and that nigga stumbles into the wall. That shit's hilarious. And Mike comes out like, "What's going on out here?" Like, oh, you know, crazy ass Yvette stalking me. You doing that out? Come back. With no clothes on. Right. Comes back and said, man, Yvette is a masseuse. She massages shit. And that nigga Marcus said, she told me. Like,
right, like that's the closest action he's gonna get right there at that point.
He really having fun with Mike. He really just enjoying fucking with this man's life. Like he's blowing his life up. And then Julie obviously says a comment, you know, is there going to be any more half-naked women coming through naked? She was naked. This is a line I still use today. Today in 2024, I still use this line. Titties was out a little bit.
A little bit.
She was naked. Titties was out a little bit.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, man. And obviously, Marcus, once again, still mocking him, letting him know, hey, man, me and my partner, we're going to go do this. Mike Lowry is clearly pissed. That nigga Marcus one more time looked at him. Don't blow the case. Like just mocking him that entire scene. There's nothing he could do. Incredible scene. I love that.
Yeah, those are those subtle things that like he talked about in the opening scene was like, I always got to get the thick and big one, as far as the, who they got to go against or whatever. This is another moment. Like, I feel like here, and then even the next scene that I have listed going into the club scene, where it's like, even though there's jokes, I think there is rooted in reality, where it's like, I always got to get the bigger one because I'm the one that's a little more sane and strategic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is why I'm playing as Mike Lowry. And then you say, hey, don't blow the case, because I imagine as many times you didn't blow the case. And I didn't say earlier, but when they was going and looking at the dead body, it seemed like that was more of Mike's idea to be like, oh, the door is open, versus Marcus, like, no, let's try to do about a book. Let's be more strategic about how we're doing it. So, which speaks to the frustrations in two. You know what I mean? I think that makes a lot more sense. But I do look at Marcus in that moment. Don't blow the case. He's joking, but also you really do be blowing the case. We already skipped past the scene where when you found out Maxine got killed, you went to go try to go on your own dolo, and when you went on your own dolo, that nigga threw you through a window.
I want to meet the man who whooped your ass. I want to meet the man who whooped Shaft's ass.
Bruh. For real, for real. I didn't get to speak to that, but that emotional scene between Martin and Will, like when they seen Maxine's like body, I mean, that was just gold. That was really gold. But anyway, my next scene is just going into the club scene, the club hell.
I'm never going to a club called Club Hell. Just for the record,
I'm never doing that. Not Club Hell. Not no Club Voodoo. Not no Club Demon. Like none of that. Y'all can keep that, nigga.
I don't play with none of that.
Yeah, nigga, y'all niggas party too much, man. I just chill and record. But like,
this nigga crazy.
Hey, but they go to Club Hell, man, and I'm about to say Will, Mike Lowry, caught off guard because he, that's what he do. That's his thing. He's a Marvin's Room type of nigga. But Marcus is in the bathroom, and this is why, to me, this scene is one of the reasons why I feel like this is the best film in the franchise, because of it's a very much 50-50 effort from both cops. I believe Martin at playing Marcus as this serious nigga. Like when they grabbed that nigga up and put the plastic over this nigga head, and this nigga was fighting for his life. It ain't just I'm fighting for my life, nigga. I got 3 kids and a wife at home. I ain't getting none, but everything comes in perspective right now, nigga. Like you're not about to choke me out in this dingy ass old club or whatever. Like, nigga, I ain't going out like that. That's why I believe when he was mad in the water and all that, like that nigga was like, nigga, and started throwing that nigga head on the toilet. Like, come on, bro. Stop playing with me. Like, I got something to lose. Like Mark, like Mike is willing to throw it on the line. That nigga might just get killed in the line of fire because he ain't got nothing to lose. Nigga, I gotta make it make more sense. I'm looking at the mirror. I'm checking out, what's going on. Bruh. Like, I respect. This is why I love Marcus so much in this Bad Boys versus all of them, because of this. I'm like, no, this nigga was for real. Like, nigga, I am not going. Before you think I'm gonna die, nigga, it's you.
For sure.
Hey, well said. Can't say nothing past that. Very well said. Obviously, that leads into the chase. So I had that kind of combined with the scene, the ice cream truck with the ether, all the damn road in Miami. You ran out of road. Like that whole sequence. Bad guys lost. We don't know. We don't have any more leads. We just kind of asked out. News camera up top, the whole 9. Just a good action sequence in the film. And going to your point earlier, when Mike is walking through that club mode, look at you. Can you stay focused? I am focused. Yeah, focus on all this scattered ass. But yeah, great scene. Obviously, got to mention Julie getting shampooed.
Yeah.
Another hallmark scene in the film. Not a ton going on. Just one of those comedic moments. It seems like they do, and Marcus even said it, man. Do you just attract violence, bro? Like, why are we in this convenience store getting shampoo, getting like little, nitpick things or knick-knack things, and then we got the dude working here pulling out a gun on us, bro. Like, why is this happening? And what's going on? Freeze, mother bitch. Like that whole thing.
Nah, you freeze.
I'm not believing it. Them arguing like they did in the opening scene, Julie walking out, him putting that going, and them their instincts. They are cops. We're sergeants. We're detective sergeants. Like as soon as that gun is away and out of line of fire, we both pulling up. I'm pulling out 2 guns. My man pulling out 1. We got the drop on you, bro.
Period.
And obviously, like, now put the gun down, back up, and give me a pack of fruit, tropical fruit bubblicious, and some Skittles. Obviously, ad-libbed in the moment. That's just a classic scene within Bad Boys. I mean, obviously, there's a moment in that scene that, from an acting perspective, when Mike is just casually going about business, and we all know what it's been to where something just hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to figure all this out, and he just pops up like JoJo. Like, there's way too much ether. Like, I just got out this truck with all this ether, bro. Why is all this ether in the city? Why is all this dope stolen? Like, JoJo gotta know something. Like, there's way too much going on. And he just had that aha moment, and then it led into the comedic scene. I just love that scene as a whole. What you got next?
I like the scene after the before, I think it's before the Joe scene, but when they get back to Mike's house and Julie's trying to kind of test him out or whatever, and she's speaking obviously to the real Mike or whatever, and it's just the way that Martin plays the Marcus character where it's it's
a little insulting, low-key.
What part?
You said the way Martin plays the Marcus character.
Yeah, like the way he playing as far as like he's this married man, but he's trying to act like yo, like I'm Mike Lowry. So like I got it going on. I know how to get active, but this nigga's he's out of touch. So it's the way that Martin is playing that complexity as a married man, but I'm playing single, but I ain't been single in so long. I can't even really lie and finesse it like, oh yeah, no, that's what I do. He can't even really lock in on it. You know what I'm saying? And this is not like a black woman. Like a black woman gonna catch you immediately. Like, but the fact that even she could catch you, like, all right, clearly you're not who she was talking about. Maxine was talking about. Yeah. So, but that level of acting, I think it's overlooked as far as that complexity of him being a married man. He's like, what you mean by that? What you trying to say by that? Like, what do you mean? Like, obviously that's what triggered him. And he ain't thinking straight because he ain't, he ain't mashing potatoes right now. So, he ain't thinking straight. It's like, what are the odds if that were to happen? And you got to imagine, Mike has probably shared really salacious things with his partner. Like as far as like, yo, I knew this married woman one time. I knew this chick one time. I knew this. I had threesome force. Like he probably has shared some things that, Marcus probably lived vicariously through him at moments. And so it's not unbelievable for him to think, wait a minute, hold, wait a minute. Check again. You know what I mean? So,
this woman right next to me, this woman next to my bed, in my bed right now, is pretty much telling me, oh yeah, he clapping. Ain't no way I can be alone with it. Our situation, we couldn't be alone like this. Nah,
that nigga hit. A man like that.
Yeah, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. And no nigga hang on my wife. Like, come on, man, stop it.
No nigga want to ever hear that. A man like that.
And it's real because that's your best friend. Your man's ain't gonna do you like that.
Yeah.
Mike even told him, like, I've been your partner for 6 years, but I've been your boy my entire life. Like, come on, man. Ain't nothing going on with me and her. But just still that, like, to everything you just said, Mo, him even thinking, like, bro, like, I'm so out of it that I really need to check in on this. Like, because I know what type of nigga this is. Yeah. We talked about it in The Sopranos once again. Like, I know, like, everybody know the type of nigga you don't want to be your girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's just more so, man, it's a cold motherfucker right here, man. I don't even want to risk it.
For sure.
Y'all trust y'all women?
Oh no, I do. I do.
I can't help my cousin with the groceries. I can't help my cousin in the house with groceries.
Silly.
That's good.
My next scene, man, I got them pulling up on JoJo. Just a great good cop, bad cop scene.
Yeah.
Tell me something, Joe. I mentioned it earlier how Martin was the one playing a good cop. He really wanted to do it by the book. Mike was like, nah, man, fuck this. Pulled him out the bathroom, pulled the gun on him. Like, and there's something about the believability. Like, Mike is ready to shoot him. Like, bro, I'm tired of this game. I don't give a fuck no more. Like, I will shoot you on your head, bro. You lying to me. I know you lying. Getting that information out of him. Of course, the end of the scene, him and Marcus laughing. Like, boy, he made me think he was going to shoot me. And that nigga looked like I was.
Like, nigga,
I'm not playing. I was going to shoot you, bro. Like, y'all think this is still play. Like, my girl got shot. Like she got killed. Like I'm
Yeah.
tired of fooling with all y'all. We got a few hours, all the playtime and that luxury shit over. We got to get some answers now. And that's the exact way Mike took about it or went about it. And I think that scene, that Mike right there in that scene, that's the Mike they built off of to go into Bad Boys 2 and everything. That whole movie, in my opinion, was a bunch of those scenes from Mike. That renegade, do it my way, we bad boys, all of that. My patience is then, we got to do it. So that's one of my favorite scenes in the film. I only have 2 more after this, so I don't know what either one of you have. As far as scenes.
It's about the same. I would say to that scene with Joe, I think that, you know, for us to be at the mature age that we are, if you really look at it, like Mike grew up like he has, you know, a great inheritance and stuff, but we don't really get a whole lot about his parents. But you imagine it's like he's a wild card for a reason. You know what I mean? Like when he say, I want to be like Mike, pow. You know, but even before they go to the club, he's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many times that Mike has obviously shot somebody that shouldn't have been shot on a case?
Yeah.
That's why he's like, don't blow the case. So there's these little subtle things that we could pick up about Mike's character. It's like Mike is a good cop. However, that nigga damn near might be like Chris Tucker from Rush Hour, where that nigga blew up the whole C4, blew up a building, and we still got some evidence left. Like Mike might be the same type of nigga for real. Like he gonna get the job done, but it's gonna cost him a lot, the precinct. So
For sure.
you know, I think those subtle things, I don't know if his parents was around like that, you know, but he wanted to impress his dad, maybe, you know, whatever it is that made him go to, you know, to do this, and he goes to the max, like you said, from the beginning to the end of the day or whatever. So it's just a little subtle thing that I appreciate. So when he says that at that moment, like, I agree with what you're saying, Rich, but I think there's a deeper layer. If we watch through all 4 Bad Boy movies, we can kind of infer why he's kind of a loose cannon from time to time. So yeah.
Trigger happy to say the least.
Facts.
To say the least. I have 2 more scenes. I don't know if anyone has any scenes. They're 2 of the biggest scenes in the film.
I think I got 1 scene.
Okay, so just to let everybody know, my scene is going to be obviously they come to Mike's place.
I'm tripping. 2 scenes.
Pulls up. Yeah, Teresa pulls up in that scene, and then obviously the airport hangar scene and the ending. So does anybody have anything besides that?
Nope, those are the ones for me.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So maybe the best scene in the movie, maybe, it's up for debate. Teresa pulling up Marcus at Mike's.
No debate.
For sure.
Teresa pulling up, looking for Marcus, here to kill my husband, tall one, the short one, blah, blah, blah. The jig is up, right? Even Mike, even the Will Smith, I'm talking about Will from an acting perspective. When he busts on that scene and he sees her, oh shit. Like, I don't know if you've ever not that black man cheater do dirt. You've never seen a scenario where somebody's somewhere where they ain't supposed to be. Yeah, you got some other stuff going on that you ain't supposed to have going on. Like, that's the perfect reaction. Oh shit! Like, I didn't even know you was going. We need to just try to think of something on the spot. I just love that acting perspective. Once again, another quote. I know they say Bad Boys 2 has quotables. I quote a lot from Bad Boy 1. Like, once again, everyday life. The one thing I use, that shit got a slant. You say that all the time. That shit be having a slant.
That's a crazy lie, bro.
Yeah, that shit be having a slant. Like, straight up, I'm quick to say that. Like, don't believe all that shit, man. That shit twisted. But obviously, the shootout in the lobby and the chase scene, we talked about it a little bit in the intro. Michael Bay and Will Smith had both discussed this. This is the shot that made Will Smith a movie star. That scene when Will has the shirt open, doing the choreographed running, as Mo let us know earlier. Yeah. That slow motion scene, him jumping on the car, him running. That's Will Smith has movie star written all over him. And he took off from there. He took off from that point. One thing about that scene, Michael Bay wanted Will to go shirtless.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
And this probably had something to go with what you were saying, Mo. Like, he probably didn't like how action heroes looked in movies. Yeah. And from a plot perspective, if anybody that knows anything about Will, he's a perfectionist. He cares about the film, no matter how silly they are. So from a plot perspective, like, nigga, is this nigga really running down the street in Miami with no shirt? Like, it was that deep. So he compromised and said, all right, I'll wear a shirt, but I'll have the shirt open. Like, I'm not going shirtless. Yeah. I need a shirt. And here's the compromise. Obviously, they shot the scene. Michael Bay said, I just made you a movie star. And the rest, as they say, is history. Even going Even going into the iconic shots that they've ended up using in all 4 Bad Boy scenes, where the camera pans around as they get up off the ground, and that music is in the background. That wasn't in the script. That was Michael Bay thinking on the fly. He went up and told his cameraman, "Say, I have this idea for a shot. Like, I wanted you to dolly around them as they're getting up off the ground. And I guarantee you, if we get this shot right, it's going to be in the trailer. Like, this is going to be one of those iconic shots." They kept fighting with him, saying, "Hey, man, it's not in the script. Like, this shot is not in the script. We're not going to do it." And he just had to demand they make it. Obviously, like I said, it's been in every single movie. They do an iteration of that shot because it is that time. I would call it the Bad Boy shot. That's probably one of the first shots you think of. Just that camera panning around from their back to the front, them looking exasperated, defeated. Like, I don't know what we do now. I just thought it was a beautiful piece of cinematography. I still get, a little bit of goosebumps every time I see it. Like, it's just it just takes me right back to that time. And I love that scene for that.
Mo?
Man, listen. Like, from the moment it gets jumping, Julie sees, oh, that's the guy. He gathered, and then they start moving, and of course, the whole running thing. But like, man, the wife is like, "I'm sorry, I'm this and that," which I got a lot of things I could say right now that I'm not going to say. But
now you sorry, huh?
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, now you want some act right. So this nigga, so they get the running, and so you getting Will this whole time, right? Will's running. Mike is running. You getting the whole chase. You're running through the salon. You're running through everything. The shirt in and on and off kind of deal. He's going, and then out of nowhere, you get that slow motion of him. Then out of nowhere, they pan and hit the other corner. Then you see my nigga Marcus, and that nigga got the beater on. And this nigga, this is why this is the best Bad Boys, because this nigga has a whole family, and this nigga put all that shit on the line. That nigga jumped on the taxi cab because he heard the gunshot and looked like, oh, this nigga right here, I got to get him. And that man jumps on the cab, and them niggas shoot through the ceiling. He barely hanging on. And I'm like, oh, this is gold. And then right when he gets thrown off trying to put it all on the line to catch this nigga, then you come back around. We pan back to Mike, and Mike grabs him at the last second. And like you said, that famous Bad Boy shot. And he's like, "Man, don't ever say I ain't never did nothing for you." And that by far, every time I see that scene, I still get goosebumps. I'm like, oh, these niggas are for real. Like, you thought I get all of the funny stuff. I get the argument. I get the comedy. But these niggas is real cops. Like, and that's why, to me, the other ones, I feel like maybe they couldn't capitalize on the action as much for whatever reason, so they lean more to the comedy aspect. But this one is like, no, Marcus is really about it, and Mike is really about it. We gonna solve this case, because if not, we both about to be out of jobs, nigga. Like, it ain't no game, right? And this scene by far is the best scene of this movie, bro. I love this scene.
I love how excited you got and how
I love how passionate.
Man, that nigga came around that corner. I was like, hey.
I love it. Hey, listen, I'll just sit here like, man, I love how much you love this movie.
I do too.
You love that
right
scene.
Right
like,
on.
For real, man. That's dope. That's dope, man. And is that, like I said, that brotherhood of we both going home.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, whenever I'm sure I could see them making an oath on their first day, like, we both making it home, bro. Ride or die for real. Like, I'm not, out in the street, I'm running full speed to make sure you don't get hit by this taxi.
For sure.
Everything about it was incredible. And then, of course, the final scene at the airport hangar. Biggest action, huge action scene. You have them driving the garbage truck through, drug deal goes wrong, shootout, everything that goes into that. But the biggest part for me is Fouché. Fouché getting away. The place is about to blow up. Michael Bay donated $25,000 of his salary to shoot that shot. The studio was not giving him any more money.
Oh, wow.
He said he needed that action shot to complete the movie. Like, told them, like, you're taking the money. The studio was like, nah, we've never done that before. We're not going to take your money. We're not going to, no, you're taking this money. I got to shoot this. Like, that argument, he said, almost led him to him leaving the film industry, because he couldn't believe that they didn't care about the actual product. Obviously, John Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, they were more concerned with another movie they were making at the same time with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman called Crimson Tide. It was a Disney movie. All their attention was there. They didn't really pay attention to the Bad Boys set, even though Bad Boys ended up being the biggest movie for Columbia that year. So it just goes to show, hey, man, oh, you guys are stars now. Hey, what's up, man? What my boy Ho say, man? When you first come into the game, they try to play you. Then you drop a couple of hits. Look how they wave at you. So
facts.
But either way, going to that scene, the car chase, you got the, obviously that gunshot wound improve your driving. You have Mike being in the car, getting pulled in the car last minute before it blows up, and him Marcus reading the Miranda rights. Like, what you doing? I'm getting it out the way, and just how hyped. The same way Mo just got hyped about that last scene. How hyped Mike was in the passenger seat.
Bro,
like, this is a faster because there's subtle details that we get throughout the film. Like, we know Mike is he loves expensive and fast sports cars. Right, to the point, like, this is a limited production. There's only so many of these made. It wasn't 80,000 to 105,000. He's yelling at him like, this is a faster car. This is the faster fucking car. I thought about buying that car probably, and I didn't get it because I like this one. This one's better. Punch it. Like, it's going to be him or me. It's going to be him or us. And it better be us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of us going to get it. You better make it. You better make it. Him punching it, getting it through there. Fouché crashing. And obviously, I keep saying Will, my apologies. Mike has been chasing him the whole movie. Obviously, there's that personal point. You have the cop point, you stole our bus, but I have a personal vendetta because you killed someone I deeply cared about. As someone who doesn't get that vulnerable, or somebody who doesn't let a lot of women in, or somebody who even uses women, as props. This is one that I actually had a connection with and had feelings about, and you did her dirt. So I feel a certain way about you, and I'm gonna walk up on you with this gun. You got Marcus being the good cop, as we say. He ain't even worth it, bruh. It ain't even worth the paperwork, all of that. Him actually letting him go, and then he sees, attention to detail. Mike sees that flash go in Martin's eyes, and without hesitation, just empties a clip on this nigga.
Yep.
I don't even know if you got a gun. I'm assuming you got one, and I'm gonna empty the clip on you. And then there's another classic shot of like slow mo where Marcus is looking down at Fouché and then kind of looks at Mike like, damn. And Mike is still sitting there with his hand on the gun, like hasn't even moved. The clip is empty, but he's still sitting there like he's still going to shoot him. Like, that's just a classic shot to me in Bad Boys. And then I have a quick story right after that. They're actually, getting fixed up. The medics are there, the cops there, everything's done. And you hear Marcus say, man, have I ever told you I love you, man? Like, for real, man, you my boy. And then Mike says, I love you too. So pause. There was an argument on set that day for half of the day because Will did not want to say I love you to Marcus. Will Smith did not want to say that. He did not want Mike Lowry, his character, to say that. He didn't think it was necessary. He didn't see the meaning for it. Michael Bay said, hey, man, like, Mike Lowry, low key, we all like him, but like on the surface level, Mike Lowry's an asshole. Like, we need to give you something to show like you really care about your friend, your brother. I know you do it through action, but let's get a little. Exactly. Let's go ahead and give a little bit of verbal confirmation. We know you saved his life and all that. Don't ever say I ain't never do nothing for you. Like, this is deeper. Like, what we've seen in this movie, what we've described this episode of the Culture Garden, this is deeper than just like you. There's no way you can't tell me you don't love this man.
Yeah,
that's your dog. That's your boy. And when you see the reaction, so they spent the whole day arguing about saying that line. And sunset was coming. Michael Bay was like, you know what? I tell you who doesn't care about us getting the shot or not, Mother Nature. That sun's coming down, whether you say it or not. At this point, I don't care what you do. I don't give a fuck. Say what you want to say. Let's just get this shot so we can wrap this shit up. Yeah. So when they shoot the scene, nobody's expecting Will to say it. So Will says, man, I love you too. So when you see Martin's face and that kind of look like, what? Like, look, and then you hear Mike's reaction. Yeah, I said that shit. I love you. That's all real. Because that was a real reaction to like, bro, you spent all this time all day saying you weren't going to say it. And now you finally say it. So it's like, oh, man, like, yeah, I said it. Don't look at me like that. I said that shit. And obviously the walk-off with him putting the cuffs on Mike and Julie, him explaining in his head what he going to say to his wife, all of that. I just think it was a perfect way to end it. You got the Bad Boys coming over the credits. Just a perfect moment. Perfect way to end the movie. Action movie, written all over it. I loved it.
For sure.
I would just
Yeah.
say, oh, go ahead, Ray.
No, I was just gonna say, Mo, did you have anything else to add?
Oh, just with that scene, just again, like, you know, being avid movie watchers of these, that subtlety of clearly Marcus know his partner has done this before. He's like, man, he ain't even worth it. Clearly he had to cover up some stuff in the past. Like we talk about him being trigger happy. So that was a subtle thing. And again, I double down. Marcus is that nigga. I got more to lose than Mike. I'm
For
going
sure.
full speed ahead playing chicken, and it's me or him, and it could be over. My kids could be fatherless right now, but I'm not backing down. That's why for me, the turn 8 years later and everything after, it bothers me so much because this nigga was like, bro, no matter what, if I'm getting something at the crib or I'm not, whatever you think about my crib, whatever, when it comes to being a cop, I got this. And I
I do
know
this shit.
I do this. Stop playing with me. So that's why I love him so much in this film over all of the other ones, because I believe him as he's an equal partner. It ain't just Mike is the nigga, but after that, they immediately move Mike way up and Marcus dropped way down. And I'm like, it's not the same to me anymore. Other than on 2, when they go after his sister, I'm like, okay, now we tap back into the Marcus I fell in love with on the first one. But so yeah, that's pretty much it as far as that last scene. Just like, again, he has everything to lose. I could relate to that being in the position that I am in. I'm like, bro, that's a lot to say. Hey, look, I could die right now, but I'm nigga, I'm petty with dedication. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Straight up. Will said that's our scenes. Rachel, you got any quotes?
We've literally set them all. You want to be Starsky and Hutch. It'll be 2 bitches in the sea. I said, my wife, no, I ain't no bitch. I'm a bad boy. That's the biggest, my favorites. You already said all the other ones.
Yeah. Mo, you got anything we haven't said?
Yeah, don't be alarmed. It's Negroes. I take it to the max every day. I'm the first one to be there, and I'm the last one. F you and them, and F anybody that got a problem with Mike Lowry.
I love you, man. Fuck you, Marcus.
Exactly. I want to be my pal. You know that. Next time, learn how to use safety with your what I write here with your link
with your punk ass.
With your punk ass. I guess they try to fix it for me. Tell them something, Joe. And then my last one is man, if you don't sit your lanky ass down, bottom line, I will knock you the fuck out. Shouts out to John Sally, man.
Yeah. Shout out to John Sally.
Again, but that was one of those things. Like, this nigga meaning when they say I will knock you, and I'm not. He's used to getting the big nigga. Like he said that earlier. I will knock you out, nigga. Stop playing. Like, anyway, I don't want to overbelabor my point, but anyway.
Right, you said shout out to Mo editing.
For sure.
Self edits, yeah, man. Shout out to Mo.
Self edit, man. Put the beeps in there, man.
I appreciate it.
We've said pretty much everything. The only things that I have that we haven't said on the episode, random stuff. You cockeyed fuck. What did I say? Did you hear what I said? I heard what I said because I was standing there when I said it. Captain said that.
Yeah.
Teresa, this is just my own personal meeting. Cleveland, I have never. Just because I recently moved to Cleveland, I felt the same way. Cleveland, I have never. Obviously, when Marcus was explaining, he had to go up there. And then that little small scene where Mike is talking to Marcus's kids. You know, Chino been running hoes up in there, but your dad explained that to me. And then the last one from Mike. My shit always works sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, how could I forget that one? Man.
Yeah. Scene stealing. Who do you have to scene stealing? I feel like there's only 2 choices. I'm curious to know.
It's really only 2 choices.
Go ahead, Mo.
Who do I get? I mean, why not? I'm gonna keep the same energy, man. I gotta give it to Martin, bro. He was number one. He was Mario, and Will was Luigi. And in this, he showed why he was Mario. Now I don't know why they switched it up, but hey.
Well, Will became the bigger star.
I mean, he became the bigger star. I mean, he's the sex symbol or whatever. But yeah.
Let me ask you real quick. Somebody who's not top billing.
Somebody not top billing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably it's probably Joey Pants.
Joey Pants?
Yeah, the captain.
It's Captain Howard.
Yeah.
Rachel, who you got?
I have between Cap and Julie, just because that's the next
Julie, yeah.
most screen time, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's who I wrote down, but in my mind, maybe just because of the iconic scene with Marcus coming to Mike's house, the bellboy. I can't think of his name.
Oh, he was good. Yeah, he was good too.
Yeah, Chet's my answer. I think he's the definition of a scene stealer. Somebody who doesn't, you don't need him in the movie at all, but him being there adds some value. It adds some comedic relief.
Yeah.
Joey Pants is like he's just a great actor anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Chet before or after this film. And it holds up every single time. I still laugh. So I'm going to give it to Severio Guerrera as Chet the doorman. That's going to be my scene stealer. He was in Billions, I guess, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, The Last OG, but nothing major. Like this was probably his.
He was in a sitcom that I like too, with the main guy from Cheers. I can't remember the name of the show, but he plays a
Frasier.
Not Frasier, the other guy, the tall guy from A Good Place or whatever. Yeah, that dude.
I got you. All right, things that bother you. Anybody got anything?
Yeah, I do. Just let me see. The wife not giving him none. Like it's just the smallest things of you not giving him none. Like, hey, bro, you said I do, my nigga. Like,
but that's like a thing. That's like a movie trope. It may be like
it is a movie trope, but like I'm on Real Time and my nigga don't play me. Like if that's what we doing, nigga, let's go back to the fine print. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't never doing that. Like nigga, I'm doing all that all the time. Then hey, let's, you know what I mean? That's probably the biggest thing. Like the fact that she pulled up and this nigga said I'm undercover, and it's like I'm telling you I'm undercover. You see me on TV and you go to I'm cheating, huh? I mean, his wife is probably the biggest things that bother me. It's just everything about it. Like, you know who you married. Why are you like, we were supposed to do this weekend? I'm a cop. I'm a police officer. Why are you acting brand new, ma'am?
Yeah,
that's probably that. I'll just say that's enough.
Okay. Nah, I feel you, man. Well, Bo ain't going, man. Nah. We said I see. You said I do.
Don't
Stop
play.
playing with me. Very nitpicky. When you look at the other films, obviously you got much larger budgets. You can tell they had a small budget because the action scenes aren't the most.
Yeah.
Like even when they go get Julie and they blow in the door with the shotgun, that does not look like a real shotgun blowing open the door. Mm-hmm. So just the action scenes, they made it work, obviously, but you can tell they didn't have enough money to put towards scene. Like I said, very nitpicky. Julie being on the scene with them, like I get it. You were at the hangar, we got you out, but we actually walking down Fouché to shoot him. Why are you out the car? Why are you walking with us like you're part of this? Like, all right, cool, whatever. Movie, it doesn't bother the movie, doesn't mess it up for me. It's one of those things. And another Julie thing, this is just a black man in me. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't feel a way about this. But her calling Marcus throughout the movie Action Jackson and Jim Brown, I don't know. It's like a little subtle, little undertone or something.
Yeah,
just a little undertone. If your friend Action Jackson over here, your friend Action Jackson over here, well, this one, if he wasn't acting like Jim Brown, I'm like, all right, you only got one more of those.
Yeah, you don't know no white athletes. You don't know no white athletes. Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's it. Nothing major. No come see about me moment.
No.
There were no actors from The Wire, but since my dog Mo was here,
I knew it was coming.
Since my dog Mo was here, we're gonna switch it up. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, Maurice, myself, and our dog Spike Lou, he hosts a podcast called Good Earner Sopranos. Since we are in the middle of recording that, I will switch this category up for one time. Mm-hmm. Any actors from The Sopranos?
Obviously,
there are two in this film. Go ahead, Mo. Let the people know.
It's Joey Pants, and it's the guy from the liquor store, right?
No, Joey Pants, and of course Christopher Moltisanti, man.
Oh, and the guy from so that's three then. The guy from the liquor store too.
Who the guy in the liquor store play?
He was I thought he was the one that Joey Pants playing Ralph on Sopranos came, and he was doing that in front of Jackie Jr. And he was the guy that was
shit, you were absolutely right.
Yeah, bro. He was like, why are you doing all this? And he was trying to act tough with him with Jackie Jr. or whatever. Yeah, that.
Damn, there is three actors. Yep, you're right. All three of them. Joey Pants played Ralph Cifaretto on Sopranos. Yeah. Michael Imperioli played Chris Moltisanti, and then the guy, he was in the random scene.
Yeah, he was like, yeah.
Ralph and Jackie Jr. beat him up. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Damn, you're right. Man, great point. Great point.
Shout out to the Sopranos.
You said what?
Shout out to the Sopranos.
Right on.
Shout out to the Sopranos.
Shout out to them.
Y'all check out Good Earners.
I love
Appreciate
it.
the promo.
Thank
Appreciate the promo. Wouldn't let that happen to me. We know Mo is not going for the no sex, so we'll keep it there. Trivia. I pretty much said most of it in the origin. Yeah, this nigga stupid. Pretty much said most of it in the origin. I will just say that really was Al Capone suite in the Biltmore. That's a real thing. Michael Bay, they actually let him stay there for a couple of days. He left early because he said it was too creepy.
I believe that.
They had a lot of prohibition stuff, a lot of like hidden walls and passages in that suite. He was like, man, there's a lot going on. I got to get up out of here.
They said Al Capone used to haunt Toledo. That was like a big thing when I was growing up.
I believe it.
The Midwest.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else as far as that before we get into the rating and get up out of here?
Bad Boys 1's the best of the series of the series, man. And
agreed. I don't think it's close.
That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Damn. Okay, I'm gonna do a rewatch of 2 and 3 and actually go see 4. And I'm
if y'all decide to do 2 way down the road, I would be open to my mind being changed.
We'll probably do 2. I doubt we do 3 or 4. We'll do 3 or 4 when we literally are running out of movies. By that time, we probably have moved on from the Culture Garden. We're probably doing something else at that point if we get to 3 and 4. But I definitely have plans on doing 2 just because it was our era and it meant a lot. I would rank them 1, 2, 4, and 3. I think
that's what I've been understanding. Like, I've been hearing that
1, 2, 4, and 3. So we're gonna get up out of here with our rating system. New segment alert to end the episode. Premiere. Sparked from the mind of Maurice Hunt III when we did our interview. He said that we should have our own rating system. We the Black Rotten Tomatoes.
Fact.
So we are still going to do our too high, too low, just right with the rating. But on top of that, we're going to add a little segment called a rose, a bouquet, or the whole damn garden.
Oh, that's
kind of
fire.
Give our thoughts on what we think of the film. It's either going to get a rose, a bouquet, or the whole damn garden. Let's start with our too high, too low, just right. The average viewer rates Bad Boys, the original 1995 film, a 6.8 out of 10. Too high, too low, just right.
Too low. You said 6.5 or 6.8?
6.8.
Still too low. I'm going to give it a 7.7 and a bouquet.
7.7 and a bouquet.
Yeah.
Mo, what we got?
This is an 8.2. Like it's an 8.2. It's that rating is coming from white viewers. Clearly, this is an 8.2. It's very black. It lines up to who we are. We don't feel like, oh, this ain't what niggas do. When we watch this, everything about this is what niggas do. So that's first off, 8.2, and then it's the whole damn garden. Like, stop playing. Like, when you talk about buddy cops, like, you put them in conversations with white buddy cops. Like, period. Like, yeah, come on, man.
I'm glad you said that because I did want to point out this is definitely the blackest Bad Boys out of the 4.
For sure.
Definitely the blackest Bad Boys.
Yep.
For sure.
The most of the culture, for sure, without question. For me, it is definitely too low. I'm going 8.1.
Okay.
Love this movie. Nostalgic, has everything I want, and I'm giving it the whole damn garden.
Yeah.
Can't about Bad Boys. So we are finished, man. Action-packed episode. I know we got to shoot the shit at the beginning before we got into the action. But thank you to Maurice for joining us.
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
You, my good brother.
Thank
you. Went on a 3-week Culture Garden run.
Goodness gracious.
Look at you.
We appreciate you coming through. I'm sure you're going to take a little break now, unless we have an emergency and need you back. But you will be back, of course. You will be back at some point. Rachel, as always, love you.
I love you. I love you too, Mo.
I love you too. Thank you, Ray.
Shout out to all of y'all listening, watching. We can't do any of this without you. Like I said, we spent a little bit of the opening talking about some of our Culture Garden family. You make this thing go. We really appreciate you. Just a quick heads up on what's to be coming up next. as I mentioned at the beginning, We Got Y'all is taking off. A lot of work being done. There's going to be a run for the Culture Garden feeds to where we're going to do a few movies. We're obviously coming up on our quarter break, so we'll be off the last week of June. We'll have a movie next week with another guest, maybe our other co-host of Good Earners, Spike Lee, join me next week. I believe Rachel might, maybe not. I don't know. Like I said, we're
Let's
giving
see
her
what
the
the Lord
freedom.
says.
Yeah, we're giving. Yeah, the whole purpose of this is give Ray the freedom of not having to not being obligated to record for Culture Garden.
Mhm.
All of her focus, we want that to be towards We Got Y'all, because there's something special going on over there. Culture Garden is going to be held down. We have a movie next week. We're off the week after. Another movie with another guest. We already have in the books. Then we'll do one more movie before we get into our next greatest episode ever series.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to check Ray P, be sure to subscribe to We Got Y'all. She will primarily be spending her time there until things slow down. And might sprinkle in an episode. We might have her. She might want to be on every now and then, maybe once a month or something. In the meantime, it's not a permanent thing. Just want to be clear on that. Not a permanent thing. Just something over the next few months, maybe for the summertime, going into August, as We Got Y'all heats up, because there will be a lot of television to discuss, and I will be joining her over there. You can catch both of us there. Please say subscribe to the Culture Garden feed. Subscribe to We Got Y'all. Subscribe to Roll, So Far Pod, Good Earner Sopranos, Another Week in the Books, all of that. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool.
Peace out, Blacks.
We out of here. Shout out to Mo Lowry.
Shout out to Mo Lowry. Bye, y'all.
We out.